Hang on.
Whoa. I don't know why it's like that either because I don't even move it in between. But good
No.
morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening, maybe. I even brought knitting today because we've got a whole different kind of thing happening today, which I'm so excited about. How is everybody?
How is it that this thing...
I don't know. Whoa. I think that's too far back. Personally. We're just getting ourselves situated. Good morning. Hi,
Better?
Louise.
What?
Yeah, but weird. Why is it like that? I don't know. Okay, it's good. I don't know why it's like that, but it seems to make sense.
Are we... Oh, there we go. Just a second.
Yeah.
Are we centered? Are we centered?
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, it's thanks. Someone said it's Thanksgiving in the U.S. That's right. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope everybody's having some time off. And
Well, this is weird.
it is bizarre. It doesn't look bizarre to you guys, but it's weird on this
Are
end.
we centered? Can you just let us know?
We must
Like,
be.
kind of?
We must be. That's what it always looks like. Hello from Detroit, Michigan. Oh my goodness. I bet you there's so many people out there that have a turkey in the oven or whatever it is you celebrate with. Okay, I'm having a little sip of my coffee. Good morning. We're so happy to be back with you. It's so weird. We're back here 2 weeks in a row. But we really wanted to do this video with you guys this week. We're doing like a walk down sweater memory lane. And I can't wait to get into it.
Good morning.
How's it going?
We have come to you 1 week after our last one.
I know. These people, you guys are going to get sick of us. It'll be 3 weeks in a row after
Good
next
Lord.
week.
Happy Thanksgiving to our American
Yes,
friends
yes.
who celebrate.
Yes.
Get ready. You're going to be eating some great food.
I'm a little bit jealous of the fabulous turkey dinners that are going to be happening. I love a
You know what I love?
great family gathering and a big meal like that.
Yeah. Where I don't do dishes, which that doesn't happen. Wouldn't that be great? If you went somewhere and you didn't have to do
I would have no idea what that would be like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But we love it. We
Yeah.
love those family gatherings. So I hope everybody has someone to hang out with. And if you don't have anyone to hang out with, hello, here we are.
Yeah. Grab your
We're
knitting.
hanging out with you. So I love that.
Grab your knitting. We're talking everything sweaters.
Yeah. I want to know, I would love to know if there's people out there that are like, I don't want to knit a sweater. I'm scared to knit a sweater. We are going to go through our like timeline, sweater journey, kinda, right? Things we've learned, when I was thinking about it, I think I've knit over between 40 and 50 sweaters. Between ones I've given away, more.
That
Like if I'm
many?
counting baby sweaters,
Are you serious?
yeah. It seems like once we started knitting sweaters, there's always a sweater on my needles.
I'm like a fraction of that. Yeah. That's a lot of sweaters you've knit.
Well, I knit, yeah, it is.
Wow. How many do you have in your closet?
I would have to go look. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
I would have to count them. Way more than I have set as like more than double of what I've brought.
Do you have a giant amount?
No, I think I brought 10.
Did you wash them all?
No.
Okay, good. I didn't either. Some have never been washed.
Full disclosure, there's a couple I pulled out of the laundry basket. So,
Yeah.
but I wanted to talk about them. I'll wash them whenever
Yeah.
they get washed. This weekend, maybe.
Have you started thinking about holiday decorating or organizing?
I'm totally up for the decorating. I'm starting to feel like I hate that feeling where you're like, oh, it's so much to do to get ready, like to buy gifts for everybody and all that stuff.
You know what I said to
I'm
my
feeling
children?
like that this year.
I said to my children this year, I'm just going to get you one nice gift.
Yeah.
And then Santa fills their stockings, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get them one gift this year.
Yeah.
Because they get things through. My kids are fortunate that they get
Yes.
things through the year.
Yeah.
And I'm not just going to buy to buy. Like, I
Right.
want it to be
I feel that
family
exactly.
focused.
Yes.
I want to take the focus off necessarily gifts.
Yeah. 100%, Jodi.
Yeah.
I mean, the things I look forward to are the fun things, like the decorating and,
Yes.
you know, the baking. And Georgia and I were talking about that yesterday. And I was sort of in my pantry cleaning something, and I came across this super cool, I think it came from Norway or Germany, this rolling pin that's got all the engravings on the rolling pin. So,
I've always wanted to
oh,
buy
Jodi,
that.
I bought it not this summer, but like last July, a year and a half ago. And I got
I'm
it.
texting rolling pin.
I got it at the craziest place. I got it at that Coolman's greenhouse. So they have a front section with like pre-made food and stuff, but are they of German descent? I don't know what it is, but this is part of their, like, this is something they use. This rolling pin was like $75.
I'm bringing it up so people can see what you're referencing. This
It's
might not be
so beautiful.
This is not the exact ones.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Oh my God, don't show me that price. I can't believe what I paid.
That's for one only. I don't know.
Mine is like that, and it's all over engraved. And you know what? I'll bring it because I'm imagining, like, Georgia especially loves to do cutout cookies. So shortbread, gingerbread, those kind of things.
Let me show you this one. Okay, once you dive deep,
That's stunning.
there's ones you can get with like reindeer.
Yeah, mine's totally holiday. Anyway, I'll share it next time.
If you just I just Googled fancy rolling pin and a million came up, you guys.
Okay. Well, anyway.
I've seen ones
So
like
I'm excited about
like
that.
Fair Isle, like a
Oh, that would
Nordic
be
Fair
cool.
Isle
That'd
print.
be cool.
Yeah, for all of us.
I'd be
knitters.
actually interested to know, like, where do these come from? Like, is this a Norwegian thing, a Danish thing? I think it's something like that.
I'm gonna blow your mind, you guys.
These are popular in Poland at Christmas markets.
Look at a sweater a Nordic sweater
love,
inspired.
love. So those are kind of fun things I'm looking forward
cut
to.
out and then do even a thin glaze or a little dusting of sugar.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to seeing our family and that kind of thing.
I'm not.
I used to get like super excited. You know, when it's that magical thing when you got little kids in the house and, you know, they're dying to see Santa and they're hoping for a certain whatever to show up under the tree. That's a whole different ball game. It's just different.
Shifts to something different.
It does shift.
You paid an obscene amount of money for your rolling pin.
Well, thanks for letting me know. I was totally ripped off.
I hope it's a good one.
Jodi, it's important. Like,
That's what I mean. And those are also special, like imported. It's probably handmade.
If I had seen them by side
from
by
a little
side,
tiny artisan.
I don't need to feel that I've overpaid anyway.
He's whittling away a rolling pin as we speak, notching.
Listen, I could probably make it myself if I'm being honest. I could hack some shapes into a rolling pin.
I just want to show you one more thing. Okay, so this, you guys.
Yes, that's what I'm imagining.
See, you're rolling it out. This looks, come on, knitters.
Yes, it's so great. Well, now I'm going to need a Fair Isle one.
Aren't they amazing?
Yes, they're incredible.
This one is Apollo box. It's $41.
We should do a bake along and have a thread in Ravelry and where everybody could shows us their baking.
Right, and shares the recipe.
Yes, for whatever holiday. There's amazing Hanukkah cookies and Kwanzaa things. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know hardly any of that stuff. It's going up. There's going to be a baking holiday.
Yeah.
Baking thread in Ravelry. Show us your faves, pictures, link a recipe if you are like into it.
Because if it sounds good, maybe we'll make it.
I feel like that's how things get passed, traditions get passed around.
I agree.
And it also, just like knitting projects inspire, this inspires things. And those are fun to do as a group.
You know what I'm not wearing today? Bronzer. Look how pasty I look.
I don't normally wear it, Jodi, but I did wear it today.
You look barely sun-kissed, and it makes a world of difference to complexion.
Jones Road medium bronzer gel.
Oh, it looks so good.
Thank you.
Is it bronzer
You're like
gel?
my hype lady, because I like
It does, but Listen, a touch of, and for me, it can never be powder bronzer anymore. Like,
Right.
you young girls, go for it.
I think it's just mostly skin types.
Yeah.
Drier skin, they say cream things,
Old
gel
skin.
things. Old ladies like me.
Okay.
Whatever.
You
But
know,
yeah, I do love it.
it's amazing.
I don't use it all the time.
Okay. Is it the one in the square?
Yeah.
This morning when I was getting ready, we've all talked about like our mole hair or one straggly chin hair. The amount.
Not me. I
You
don't have
guys-
one.
Okay. It looked like full on whiskers this morning.
No way.
I think it might have been 7. Like, I'm wondering how long they would grow. I'm serious about this. Like, the amount of
It's just
now,
a weird hormonal thing, right? It's weird. There's all the fun and
weird
games.
/ not fun.
Weird / what the actual.
Wow, you guys.
Anyway, too funny, Jodi. I was totally waxing this morning.
You know
With
what I was
those little
thinking?
strips.
I was thinking I should have those in my cupboard.
I have them, and I like heat them up with a blow dryer, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have those little microderm razors, micro.
Yeah. Do you use that? I don't use that.
Well, I have, but then I
I
feel
used it once and thought, I feel like this is not a good thing. This is just them marketing shaving my face. To me, that's what I feel like it is. So I don't do that.
I
Good
didn't. If I'm honest, I didn't love it.
morning.
I didn't love the little razor. For
I'm
my
sorry.
face.
People tuning in are like, what is this video about?
And I know people like use that and really like it, but for me, I felt like
oh, totally.
do you
Everybody.
do it dry? Because I felt like I had razor
I
burn on my
probably
chin.
don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably my problem.
Okay.
As you know, it happens.
Yeah. Anyway.
Good morning, our friend Amanda.
So yeah, that was fun. There's that.
Okay, here's some funsies. I got my nails done. You guys, they look like a disco ball. You can't even tell right here.
I love
Like
it.
Jodi, you should see them. Wait till we go upstairs. They're like holographic.
I love everything about it. I love the color underneath. I love the top.
No, that's the whole color.
Is it?
It's not a top
really?
coat. That's it. It's like
what
an
number is
indigo
that?
blue disco ball.
What number?
377 in those rectangle ones.
The black thing on the right.
No,
Yes.
like when you look at the samples, that line that's
Yeah.
all on the rectangles.
Okay.
377. Ask Van. She'll remember. Because I said to her, I love this because it was almost the end of the bottle.
Van loves sparkle.
And she said she's got a client that only gets this color. She gets this color every single time.
I might copycat.
Totally. Let's
I
do
love
it.
it.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Good morning. I literally just had my first sip of coffee right here with you. It's so good. What do you got? What do you got in your cup?
Iced Starbucks from the grocery store with silk almond oat milk vanilla.
Yum.
Yeah.
Yum. Okay.
Do you?
What?
You have an espresso.
I do. I love. I was just thinking yesterday, I can't believe this thing is still going so well.
Okay. It makes a nice coffee.
Yes. And Mom and Dad have the one with the bigger pods that's regular coffee. Like they've got you covered all. And I love that too.
Can you do both? Good morning, Kev.
I don't know.
Can it go between both pods?
I don't know. I haven't had to buy a machine forever. There's a really good store at Southgate though. You can check it out.
You know what I was thinking?
Hmm.
To get we use Keurig.
Yeah.
Shannon drinks 500 coffees a day. But I think they have a Keurig machine where you can have a pot of coffee on one side.
Somebody keeps asking if your sweater's on
Yeah,
backwards.
it might be. Hang on. hold the
Totally
phone.
possible.
And then, oh yeah, because you could even see where the beginning around was.
That's funny.
And like a Keurig on the right and a pot of coffee on the left. In case like you're going to be home, I'm going to make a pot of coffee.
yeah.
So we'll
I do
see.
have a regular like basic coffee pot for like
Yeah.
people come over for dinner and you're doing coffee, but
Yeah.
yeah, we don't use it a lot, right?
Okay.
Coffee's a thing. People invest a lot in their coffee sometimes.
Coffee is a thing.
There's some, yeah.
When you can go to school to be a master at making something, it is a thing.
Really?
Like there's like to become an actual like certified barista, or
Wow.
I think there's maybe a more official name to it.
Why am I
even.
not surprised?
Yeah, there was one guy at our Starbucks. I haven't seen him. I don't go much anymore, but he was an actual like certified. He's taken classes on like kind
Really?
of like a sommelier sommelier
Yeah.
for wine.
Yeah.
There's a coffee dude.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It's like that, right?
Well,
Like with
yeah.
all the different beans and the different roasts and the different
Yeah.
blends. Like it's actually kind of a good comparison to wine
Yeah.
as far as that goes.
I think the Macy's Day Parade is on right now.
I love that stuff.
Do you ever watch it?
Yes, if I'm home. I mean, I'm not usually home
Yeah.
or during the day.
Let's
but yeah.
stream it. Should we?
Yeah, because that worked so well the last time we did it.
Wouldn't that be funny? Okay, I'm gonna take a picture. Oh my god.
What are you doing?
Ah, that was a video, sorry. In fact, that was a time lapse.
Oh, yeah.
There.
Okay.
So I'm excited to talk everything sweaters, but we
Me
have
too.
one thing to mention, do we?
We do.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that now?
I do want to do that now. I feel
Okay.
like at the more at the first portion than the last portion.
Okay, good.
For no other reason than I'd like to spill the
So
beans.
I know this is the thing. So if you guys were here last time, we talked about 2024 being all about community
Yeah.
and getting out there and seeing more of you and gathering with more of you. And we were totally not kidding about that.
Yeah.
There is a new event that you can check out. Jodi.
Oh, okay.
No, it's okay.
Bad timing. Okay, first of all, you know what? No, keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah.
This is so exciting because our first ever knitting retreat, we had no idea what it was all about, was with Amanda and Fiona of Knit Social. Phenomenal, wonderful. We've gone again and again. They are the most lovely people. And I can't even believe we're saying this, but we have all teamed up to do a retreat right here in Alberta. Winter in the Rockies in Canmore, Alberta is happening the first weekend
Yes.
in February. February 1st to 3rd, 4th.
And it's for sale now. No.
You would think
Run.
you would be a helper, but no, it's like
No,
running
don't
around
go.
after a toddler.
No, I know it kind of is.
It
I don't
kind
know.
of is.
It kind of just pops into my
I
head.
feel
and
like I have a toddler at the mall
my
that is
God.
running away from me.
I'll wear a leash.
You would be that one. And how helpful would that be? Honestly, you guys, it is such a thrill. We are so excited. We've wanted to do a retreat in Canmore to bring you to the beauty of Alberta.
Yeah.
For so long. And
Mhm.
maybe it will be, there's so many knitters in the Calgary area. It's an easy little drive. It is going to be a wonderful weekend. All the details you can find at Knit Social right now, knitsocial.ca. And it's under upcoming retreats. If you look on there, if you go to the retreat page on the menu,
Down here at
all the way at the
retreats.
bottom, it says retreats and then upcoming retreats. You're going to be able to read about it. You're going to see the Malcolm Hotel where we will all be staying. It is so gorgeous. It's basically an all-inclusive knitting weekend. You come and we're going to have the best time. We're going to have classes. The gorgeous, amazing Cecilia of Seawolf and Sage will be teaching us beading. And the not so gorgeous Grocery Girls, we're going to do our sock talk workshop, all things socks, all the things we've loved, the mistakes we've made. We have, it's going to be like an all-inclusive thing for all kinds of fun ways to make your socks fit better, to embellish your socks, because we like to knit a lot of stockinette socks. And sometimes
yeah.
it's nice to jazz them up a little. And if you've never cut your knitting, we're going to do an afterthought heel as part of that, which is super fun.
Yeah.
Once you do it, you never go back. I feel like it's super fun. So
We also think, Canmore is incredible.
it's
I think it shines in the winter with snow.
it's the heart of the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
You will just be blown away at the location.
We are-
Canmore's like one of those little towns that are just so perfect. You can hardly believe how cute it is.
Yeah. I also, I'm thrilled about the location,
Yeah.
the actual hotel. It's absolutely incredible. Tracie stayed there.
Yeah. You can get a knitting buddy and come with a friend and share a room, or come by yourself and we're your buddies.
Yeah.
There's 3 evenings of social events, and there's more details that are coming your way. But we wanted to give you guys a heads up that the packages go on sale next Friday, so December 1st.
Yeah.
And you can, check things out for the week and maybe work some things out. And we can't wait to see you.
We, Amanda and Fiona of Knit Social, have a beautifully new, sleek and streamlined website.
It's
You'll
so
see it when you go see
beautiful.
it today, if you go check it out. But you have some basic information on the page. You have accommodations. You have meals, activities, transportation, and
We're going to have
whatnot.
opportunities to explore Canmore a little bit, and things are still developing in that way. So, you guys, it's going to be a wonderful weekend. I see Cecilia is here this morning. Cecilia, I have to talk to you. I haven't spoken to you since all of this has come about, but I am thrilled and so excited for this whole weekend to come. So anyway, we wanted you guys to be, you are actually the very first to know. This is the first place that you're going to be hearing about it. So
We're
can't
super
wait to see you.
excited. We've been saying for a long time, we should do something together. We should do something together. We think they're such special people, Amanda and Fiona. And really, they're experts in it now. They've done it time and time again.
Yeah.
And we feel like doing something together would be really fun.
We did. And
This
I'm
is-
thrilled that it's
you guys,
happening.
This is coming together really fast. We had no idea that we could get accommodations at our number one pick hotel.
It's kind of a nice, quiet time of year. We're hoping that people would like to come and get cozy. Yes, it will be snowy, but I think that just is a bonus when you go to a knitting retreat to be cozy, you know,
There'll be fires.
Yeah.
There'll be knitting. There'll be cozy gatherings.
Yeah.
And lots of fun. So
yeah. So there you go. And save the date. That's that. That is the big announcement.
Save
and
the
we hope
date.
you're as excited as we are.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to move my sweater.
Okay. Talk about eagle-eyed viewers.
You guys, I could tell we were going to get snow last night.
Are we getting it?
There was snow on the roof.
Oh,
a little
okay.
bit. A tiny bit, right? But that barometric pressure
Yes.
change, what is it?
It's no joke.
What is it that happens in our bodies that it's just like, oh my gosh.
I know.
Anyway, hi from
know.
Airdrie.
Hi, Airdrie.
Happy Thanksgiving. Should we dive in?
I'm ready to dive in. I'm so excited. This is a video we've been saying, oh, we've got to fit in just a sweater video. And today's the day.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
You guys, I brought so many sweaters. I've learned so much. But I don't know.
Do you have like a sort of sequence you want to go in?
I don't have necessarily a sequence, but I've just brought, different sweaters that I would love, that we...
Did you bring your first sweater or anything like that?
No, I threw that away.
Okay. I brought mine.
Bring it out.
Yeah, I brought it.
Bring it out.
I brought it.
Let's start there.
Okay. Okay, like I said, you guys, as a knitter, to me, that was kind of like the pinnacle. I want to knit a sweater and wear it. But I was too afraid. So finally, our local yarn shop did a knit along, and I was in. I'm totally in. I had no idea what I was getting into. The sweater that I picked, it was out of a little book that said 10 simple cozy patterns or something. So great, simple. First sweater, of course, that's what I want. It was pieced. It's knit flat.
Who said simple?
Seamed. The book that I got it out of said
Oh.
that. So this is, but close your eyes and feel this.
Would you... Oh,
Nice, right? Okay, so
look how it's held up.
well, I don't wear it.
Oh.
But yes, this is the Wanderer cardigan by Sarah Hatton.
Tracie.
And it's my first ever sweater. It's got these little kind of seed stitch edges instead of
so
ribbing.
Beautiful.
The yarn, I used the yarn that called for in the pattern. It's my first sweater. I was like, listen.
You must.
I must. I have to do. So this yarn is actually discontinued now, so don't go looking for it. And I also, in my humble personal opinion, it would not be my choice.
Why?
This is 85%. This is Rowan Lima. Let me tell you, it's like a butter. It was a chainette construction. It feels like heaven, but it's 85% baby alpaca with just a little bit of wool and nylon. And first of all, alpaca is super hot, so I wouldn't want a yarn that's super hot anymore. but it also can stretch a little bit. And I think the nylon and the construction, it was supposed to like not stretch out very much.
Alpaca is also heavy.
This is heavy.
This
This
is
looks
heavy.
heavy. This feels
Yes.
heavy for what it
Yeah.
looks like. And one of the ladies added like 6 inches to her sweater, and it grew like crazy.
Really?
Because of that, right?
I'm gonna throw this on.
But Jodi, let me tell you, I'm so proud of it. Is it perfect?
The detail
No.
here
It's not perfect.
on the what we call a button band. There's one button, you know, mirrors
very
the detail
simple.
here. But holy Tracie, I bet you'd still be wearing this,
Jodi, this is the
if
thing.
it wasn't alpaca.
This is the thing. And also, it's a color.
too big?
No, it really did. Honestly, I was like blown away that it turned out to fit. But I
Tracie, oh.
I do not love the color. I feel like the color is a little muddy brown. This is what I'm going to embroider. You know that embroidery on
I was
knits?
just gonna say, this is stunning.
Thank you. I'm thrilled with it. Like I said, it's a very
Yes.
simple silhouette. Sarah Hatton is such an amazing designer.
Probably maybe half a size smaller than I would normally wear for
But it,
ease.
you know what though? But it fits you. It's not as oversized. It fits you.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a little bit wah wah as far as like, there's nothing going on for me, but I feel like it's going to be a great canvas for embroidery. Jodi, it's like it was made for you. It fits you so well.
Let me tell you, I am so excited about maybe over Christmas you'll pick up embroidery
Yeah.
and have fun.
One of the bands on the bottom, because you knit them separately, the piece.
Yes.
Is deeper than the other. Like obviously I didn't measure right or whatever, but you're never,
No.
nobody will ever know that. So it's not perfect.
The thickness is really nice of this.
And
but
it's worsted weight. That yarn was worsted weight. So that was a really good, I think yarn weight to start. If you're going to knit your first sweater, worsted weight, I would totally recommend.
I cannot wait for you
This
to
yarn
put this
is
back.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And the sweater in the pattern, like it was cropped-ish.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why this yarn was chosen. Yes, it's alpaca, but it's a crop design, so it's not really heavy. So maybe that, but because the yarn was beautiful. So soft.
So it's not
The designer is Sarah Hatton. We will have show notes in our Ravelry group for all the sweaters we're talking about today. Thank you, BJ. Mwah.
the links. Yeah.
They'll be linked in Ravelry. So I love it.
We're not going to remember all our yarn, so we don't necessarily need to link the yarn.
This yarn,
today.
don't worry about it, you guys. It's discontinued. It's worsted weight yarn. And I would say, listen, if I was knitting this today, I'd probably do either DK and mohair or fingering and mohair.
This construction, listen, when they say pieced, I will knit a piece sweater one day.
You
just for
should.
the experience, because those are the sweaters that don't go out of shape.
Yeah.
That hold their
It feels
structural
different, right?
integration. This feels like a sweater.
And let me tell you, learning to seam, my beginner self found it very simple to do mattress stitch. And you really don't, I love that. I would love to take a class that are like myth busting, like cutting your knitting, steeking your, like afterthought heel, steeking, seaming, all those things we kind of go, ugh, like provisional cast on, tubular, like all of those things that we all think, oh, forget it, I'm doing something easier instead. Because mattress stitch is not difficult.
Yeah.
It's
So
not
don't
difficult.
necessarily be afraid of a piece sweater.
Right.
I'm not sure that's where I would say to start if you're a new knitter, but
But
like-
if it's, you feel strongly about it, if you love a pattern,
Yes.
for sure do it.
yeah. Let me tell you, who would love this?
Mom,
Yeah.
well, she can have it.
Do you know what you do? Embroider it and give it to mom.
Embroider it with black.
Yes.
Listen, I would be,
Tracie.
I would love someone to wear it. Let me tell you, alpaca, cozy.
Mom, this is Screaming Jerry.
Well, I love it. This was, Sarah Hatton is an amazing designer. If you go check her out on Ravelry, you're going to see about a gajillion patterns because this lady is so prolific in designing, and I think worked for Rowan or something because there's so many Rowan designs. But one thing just sort of in general about sweater knitting I'd like to say, even if people tell you, ooh, that Oliver cabled sweater is not a great choice for your first sweater, I feel like there's a huge amount of our desire factoring in to your sweater. It's only one stitch at a time. If you really, really want an all over cabled sweater, there are simple ones out there. And if that's your dream and you're willing to do it, I think you should do it.
I 100%. If there's any message you take away from today,
Totally.
it's you can do any sweater you want to do.
Within reason. Like, I think, you know, you don't have to do a stockinette sweater.
If you're an eager learner,
Yes.
and are willing to either reach out to a yarn store or YouTube techniques,
Yeah.
I don't think that there's much you couldn't do.
There's a lot of patterns that are like the same simple cable, you know, spaced out. And if that's your dream and you have the desire to motivate you, that's a huge part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to show you some like most of the things we knit are very simple. Right? They're fun.
Oh, mine are really
They're
complicated.
Fun. They're fun.
Yes.
But that's what we like. We like to watch TV and visit and take our knitting with us. So the simple things are what drive us because we can do that. And and honestly, we're very impatient. We would like to wear it ASAP like yesterday. So we feel like we can whip through easier ones, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, Jode.
Okay,
what
the
do you
next
got?
sweater that I would love to speak about is the turtle dove.
I'm going to knit.
So, the turtle dove is still a free pattern, and there's two versions.
Yeah.
It's by Melissa. Remind me of her last name.
Clulo?
Melissa Clulo. This is this an Espastrico pattern still?
It is.
Yeah. It's with Espastrico. And it's the turtle dove. It's knit in two different weights. There is a bulky weight and an Aran weight and a bulky weight.
The first version, the original turtle dove, is bulky.
That's what this is.
Yeah. So it was designed with Woolfolk Luft. The second version is called Turtle Dove 2, and it's knit in or designed for drops air, which is Aran weight.
Right.
So
I'm going to put this on as I talk about it because I really want you guys to see. I brought these two. I have both versions. Both knit in the original yarn it was designed for. This is Woolfolk Luft in their like indigo kind of navy color.
I love this color.
You guys, I feel like when I need to go grab something off the shelf, it's this sweater.
Okay, I want to know what's your most worn sweater. I feel like this might be a contender.
This might be a contender for me for my most worn sweater, and that says a lot about my sweater knitting. I'm going to show you sweaters that maybe are a little more fussy that I really don't go to.
Okay, give us a quick rundown of the features of this sweater.
So this sweater has raglan increases, which are those increases as you're knitting. You're increasing the sleeves and the front and the back at 4 different points, 2 in the front and 2 in the back. It's called raglan increases. I love the fit of this.
Yeah. And that just means that's how your sweater is shaped.
Yeah.
That's how you add stitches to build the sweater.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the deeper the raglan, which means the longer you increase before you separate for the 2 sleeves.
Right.
It gives you width in your sweater. And I love a deeper raglan.
And this is definitely deeper. Like your armpit's way up here.
My armpit's here. But it's a nice balance between too much and not enough for me. Like it's just a perfect amount. I like an exaggerated raglan because then you get this extra fabric.
I think it's elegantly oversized, the way it's designed.
Yeah.
And the 3/4 sleeve and all the other things about it, it's not so much fabric. The thing, it's boxy, but these shorter sleeves and stuff, they balance things out.
Yeah. And here's the thing I'll tell you about this sweater. If you don't like the mock turtleneck, maybe you just want to cast on and just do a few rounds of it. Like if you don't like the mock turtleneck, these are things that you can customize on this sweater. Longer sleeves, longer ribbing.
Yeah.
You can crop the sweater. You can do...
Is it a split hem?
It's a split hem.
Okay.
You can do no split hem.
Right.
See, the split hem means it's got a really cute little, like you knit...
It's a beautiful, like, tailoring detail. It's... To me, those are the things that just sort of elevate the sweatshirt shape of the pattern.
Yeah. This can be added to any pattern you want. You're just knitting the ribbing on the front section on its own, bind off, and then you're going to knit the back.
Yeah.
Bind off. So then you've got two kind of flaps.
So I feel like that the elements of design for this one are a beautiful twisted rib,
Yeah.
which is so, I think, sharp. It really is this a beautiful texture. The little bit of the deeper raglan, and then this. So it's very simple, the split hem, and it is beautiful.
So we say Aran and bulky, and sometimes you think, ooh, that's going to be heavy. Well, the yarn it's designed with is a blown in. It's a cotton core with a blown in fiber construction. If you haven't tried it, it's amazing.
It's in the higher price range. This yarn.
One is, but there are lots that you can source.
Yes.
That have that blown in construction.
Yes.
Which means it's like a tube. It's like a little fine tube of netted cotton that they literally blow the fiber in, and it's just kind of like, it's light and it's fluffy and it's just lovely to wear.
It is. And it's so, I've never seen anyone wear this sweater and think, oh, that doesn't, they don't feel like it suits them. Everybody feels like it suits them.
Yes.
And there are now so many projects on Ravelry.
Yeah.
So you can go check it out and see if you think it's something that you would like.
Yeah.
Knits up quickly. I love
super quick.
Love wearing mine.
And then this is, I'm going to switch out, you guys. This is my black version, or almost like a dark charcoal in Drops Air. Oh, I think if I have to say, this
is probably
it. So it is basically the same sweater. I don't know what the difference would be other than the yarn weight.
The difference is the gauge. So
right.
This is not as. So this, I think the original Turtle Dove might be 14 stitches per inch. This one, I think, might be 16 stitches per inch, which gives you, I think, more yarn choices typically. Plus, it's also a lighter sweater. And Drops Air is a really nice, I think, price point. And there's lots of yarns that are maybe able to fit that.
Again, split hem would be my choice a lot of the times.
I would love to knit another one of these, even after.
Like, you guys, like, just look. And it's like, you know what it's like? It's almost like you're wearing a light, I don't know, like you're blanketed. This yarn is amazing. The shape and the construction. I love it.
I've only used that type of yarn once, and I used the Camerose Snuff Nug to do this exact sweater. And my mind was blown at how cozy and wonderful they are to wear. So there's lots of price points with this kind of fluffy, airy, blown yarn, and it really is super cozy choice.
Yeah.
Jodi, I love it.
Love.
Love it.
Are you doing ribbing?
There's also...
I'll do ribbing.
There's also the Turtle Dove cardigan that's available. It is only available in Lina Magazine, the summer issue that just came out. Well, I guess it's the fall issue, but it came out in August or September. It's phenomenal. And it is the same design, but for those of us that love a cardigan, it's still got the twisted rib. I was just wearing mine the other day. It is phenomenal. It's not available on a standalone pattern yet. I'm not sure how long that goes for, but it will be. But these two are readily available, free patterns, knit it today kind of thing.
Get it now.
Knit it. Okay, this is another one, like I'm talking from the vault, blast from the past. In our
When you said first sweater, that's the one I went to.
Oh, okay. No, this was my second sweater.
Okay.
And I keep it and I love it. And it's a pattern that's been very popular over the years. And I feel like it needs a moment again because I think we all love to wear this kind of thing. This is very boxy. It's got these teeny little... This is called the Modern Wrapper, and it's by Church Mouse Yarns. And so they've designed it. It is a drop shoulder. Like, I'm literally trying to figure out. It's not drop shoulder. It's pieces. It's pieces. Okay.
What is the matter with you?
But it's drop shoulder. When you put it together, it looks like a drop shoulder. Like, that's the shape of it. It's super duper boxy. Here it is. It's very boxy, and it's just got some ribbing, and then it's got a fitted sleeve. And it also is knit in a yarn that is now discontinued, but you can substitute a million things. It was knit in Rowan Fine Tweed, which was a fingering weight wool tweed. Basically, imagine felted tweed, but a fingering weight without the halo. It was just wool. And then you held mohair with it.
Rowan
This was my first
amazing.
mohair experience.
Okay.
So black, I went black because I didn't know any better. I thought, oh, I'll wear black all the time. But let me tell you, I would do it again tomorrow. And this was knit on like 6mm needles. You guys, it's beautiful. It's just the ribbing, the button band is knit as you go. And then you join it at the back with a little bit of grafting. This has a bunch of short rows at the back, and they were Japanese short rows.
I've never done those.
You would love it. They're so interesting. I've still never done it again, but it was a really cool way to do the short rows in this section here to bring up the back of your neck.
Why don't you wear this? I think you knit it too big.
No, I wear it as a cozy thing. I should be wearing it more, Jodi. It's totally me still. It's
These
totally
pieces
me.
you're bringing out are such beautiful staples. Sweet.
Listen, this modern wrapper
Are
was
you serious?
It was a sample in the yarn shop, and this kit, there had to have sold 1,000 of these sweaters.
So it's an exaggerated, it's very wide.
Super boxy. You can shut it with like a pin or not. I love it. Just kind of open and
you
drapey.
guys, if you're sitting.
Super cozy.
Oh,
Super
this
cozy.
is
So it's
so
fingering weight wool
nice.
with a mohair. You could do suri, you could do whatever you want. And I just feel like it's still that oversized, kind of classic look.
I didn't know when I woke up this morning I was going to be a model.
Well, I didn't know either. I
Tracie,
love it.
this is incredible. This tweedy bit.
Yeah. It was, let me tell you,
You know, I've never knit with tweed.
Rowan fine tweed. If you're really
You
into
love it.
to tweed, I think you can probably get so many things. A woolen spun fine tweed would be great because then the sweater is really light, like, you know,
You
Brooklyn
guys,
tweed. But there's got to be
this.
other ones, of course, out there.
No ribbing on the bottom, just bound off, you guys. That's a fun little
Yeah,
detail.
this garter edging, it's not even ribbing. It's garter ridges around to make your
Okay, so your sweater's done.
done. Well, no, you have to seam
Oh,
your pieces together. And then you pick up around the little elbow, I believe, and knit this tiny little funny, like 8-inch sleeve or 6-inch sleeve. But it fits snugly and everything else is oversized. It's kind of like Hohi's boxy, the same thing. Hers is very boxy, but really almost negative ease with your sleeve
Fitted.
because that just balances everything out.
Oh,
So
I
the
love
modern wrapper by Church Mouse. Beautiful. Beautiful pattern. There's got to be a million projects on Ravelry. I would knit this one again.
I would knit this one.
I would love to see it knit in one piece, though. It's really just drop shoulder.
I love it.
Right? It's a drop shoulder cardigan
Yeah.
if you could do it all.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it always is drop shoulder, but
Yeah.
listen, I like one piece seamless construction. I like it.
Okay. My next sweater that I'll speak on is a round yoke.
Okay, I'll do my round yokes neck too.
Because I don't have any more drop shoulder, I don't think. I don't have anything to add
Well,
to
that's
this
drop
one.
shoulder.
This one. Oh, should I do that? Because it's a
Only if
cardigan
you want
too.
to.
Let's do it.
Sure.
Okay, so Kelly, who is our dear friend,
She is.
she designed this cardigan and gifted it to me for my birthday.
I know, Jodi. It's so gorgeous. Speaking of woolen spun lightweight yarn, you could use whatever. You could use this Gilead.
This is Durarum Natura Gilead.
Yeah, which is
their
like
fingering weight.
Sport weightish, I
Sport.
think.
This, like,
I need to
it's
knit.
one
I
of
need
the
to knit.
best fitting sweaters I have.
Yeah, this is a cardigan I would put top of my list if you're looking for a cardigan to knit.
Because this one doesn't have buttons, but you can absolutely add buttons.
Sure, you could.
It is, again, you're going to hear the word boxy a lot because that's we like comfortable, boxy, relaxed fit. Drop shoulder, meaning this is where the arm starts. That's what we're referring to when we say drop shoulder. This is the seam for the arm. One other detail that
Gilead is worsted, I believe. Okay, so it's
not you're right, because the
it's Durarum Natura.
Gilead was mine that was
Right.
worsted.
Okay, so this is.
Let me tell you
I'm
about
looking it
this
up.
detail. So most or a lot of patterns, when it's this kind of construction, when it's the drop shoulder, your drop shoulder comes down out of here mostly, but Kelly wanted an exaggerated drop shoulder, but not the exaggerated body. So you have this little bit of an indent, which I think is brilliant. Another,
Okay, it must be this Ulysses.
Yes.
This Ulysses is the, I thought that one, I got them mixed up.
one of the other details on this.
So that's the yarn, Ulysses by
So
Durera
nice.
Natura. Yeah. Woolen spun.
Beautiful,
Really
light as a
beautiful.
feather.
Yeah.
Kelly has done increasing so much here.
Semi-woolen, they say.
Ooh. So there's a lot of fabric, so it sits like this instead of like this that some
Right.
cardigans are.
Right.
So that's another detail. Like it sits kind of closed.
Yeah.
You're not fussing with
Right.
it all the
it's
time.
not a straight line here. It's been,
Yeah.
like it's shaped properly.
So those details here under the arm, exaggerated drop shoulder, and the extra fabric to stay in
And
a
the-
nice position.
and the beautiful stripes, the simple stripes.
It's one round of different colors here, you guys.
super scrappy buster if you wanted.
I can't tell you the joy this sweater brings me when I wear it. Mostly because Kelly knit it for me.
Right.
This is a design that
This
is out.
This has to be in the running, honestly, Jodi, for your most worn that I see you wear.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Right? Between this and your Turtle Dove 2.
Sorry, and the name, I don't want to get it wrong.
After the Storm cardigan.
There you go. I was just going to say storm cardigan, but I didn't think that was right. After the storm cardigan.
Are we on a game show? Did we win?
Yeah, points.
Okay.
You can be on my team. I love everything about this. Everything about
I couldn't
this.
agree more, Jodi.
Yeah.
It's absolutely gorgeous. Kelly is amazing. She's a phenomenal designer. I feel like if you're looking for kind of a light-ish weight cardigan, light to medium,
Yeah,
I would 1,000% recommend this pattern.
yeah.
Yeah.
We love the features.
Yeah. She's an amazing knitter and like modifies things for excellent fit and all
Yeah.
those things. And that is all written into this pattern.
All the sweaters we are talking about today are size inclusive. All the sweaters we're talking about, that I brought
Well,
today.
I'll be honest, I have not checked all of them.
Okay. I did leave a couple at home that I would have liked to have brought that I really love, but have realized they're not size inclusive. So I don't
Okay.
want to feature those. But not only that,
Okay, so that first cardigan that I showed you, not
Not
sizing,
quite.
not,
But
not
that
at
was
all.
that was before we knew better. That was before we were
Yeah.
asking our designers.
Like the I don't know how they're to fit up to 50-inch chest. So I don't know what the pattern says, but still,
yeah,
you
not
know,
size inclusive.
not size
yeah.
inclusive.
But I do want to say, we do better now. Also, the patterns that we're talking about are all beautifully written patterns.
Yeah, I mean, but what today is all about is our experience as knitters down the road of what we've learned from sweater to sweater to sweater. You know, so these two that I just showed you, I seamed them both. I had never knit a single piece construction. I really had never knit any other way in a sweater. And honestly, you'll see that once I started knitting, you know, one piece construction, seamless, that I have never knit another seamed one again. So that's just, and at the same time, I was the brand new knitter and did not have problems at all doing the seaming.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish it didn't have such a bad rap.
I think it only has a bad rap because there's all the tasks when you're done the actual pieces.
Well, I just think,
I don't know why we give it a bad rap.
I think in general, everybody likes things now. We have a computer in our pocket, like everything. If you can't do it in 5 seconds, or, you know, you used to phone someone and leave a message and like maybe they'd call you back the next day. Now you text somebody and you're like half an hour later, what's their problem? How come they aren't texting me back? I don't know what it is, but all I know is I know that has an element of truth for me as far as like, once I'm done my knitting, I want to wear it. I don't want to have to seam it up. But at the same time, it's a step that's totally worth it. For your garment forever, right?
I also think for me, I have moved more from a product knit. I'm still a product knitter. We all are, because most of us want the things we're knitting.
Right.
But I could essentially part with most of the things I knit, but I love to knit. So the idea of me actually doing and learning the seaming part of it is really appealing now.
Right.
My early days knitting, I would think, not in a million years.
Right.
My knitting now, I think I'd
totally
really like to do that.
I think you should do something like a modern wrapper.
Well, here's the thing also, that sweater from the retreat that our friend was wearing, that everyone said, that Julie Hoover one.
Yes.
Julie Hoover is notoriously a piece sweater knitter.
Yes.
But there's a reason her sweaters last a lifetime.
Like
she said, but our friend
it is
said
her style of designing.
There you go.
But
she's notorious. Those pieces, but
it's true. I think it's more about the structure. That is about the product. That's like a product process, right? Because it really is a beautiful, almost like if you're thinking about a store-bought something, like the quality to last forever. You're investing in this yarn and you're going to take all this time and knit something, and the piece, it just holds its structure better.
Well, and it was so beautiful and knit out of Hannah Lee of Hinterland Yarn, and she happened to be at the marketplace. The amount of us that bought,
I actually have that yarn.
Sweater
I could
quantities,
do that.
Let me
that
tell
sweater
you.
is the Colvin.
Colvin.
Yeah, if that's the one you're thinking of.
It's amazing.
Okay,
check out Julie Hoover.
Okay, so you did your drop shoulder. Should we get into round yoke, or should we do the only bottom up one here?
Ew. Yes. Okay. You've done it all.
See, here we go. This is so funny. You say ew, and I'll be honest.
I shouldn't say ew.
You've already made a bottom up sweater.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. You did.
Oh, I just fucking pooped. Sorry.
Don't bleed on my knitting.
No, look what it did. No, I'm just kidding. I had a scratch already there.
Whatever. It's super wash. I can wash it out.
No, there's no blood.
We were so lucky. We worked with Craftsy. We had a show called Off Our Needles. It is still out there.
We're TV stars.
You can still check it out. You can get was it 3 seasons, 4 seasons? We had so much fun.
The days we went to Denver.
Oh my gosh.
So fun.
So this sweater has not only a million memories, but a lot of lessons knit into it. Season 2 of Off Our Needles, we did a sweater knit along. And Jodi had never knit a sweater up until then. I had only knit these 2, so I was certainly not like, bring it on. So they sent us a few options. What do you think? And we were like, well, can we make it worsted weight? Because
quicker the better.
Right. We're not willing to go down any yarn weights below that. So we chose the Zadie sweater. And you can still get this pattern. It's by Mercedes, I believe, Tarasovich.
It's very beautiful.
Listen, I pulled this out today. I have not worn it very much.
Did you try it on?
Well, it's going to fit.
No, I mean, like, yeah.
No. But I looked at it thinking, oh, yeah, okay, it's still going to fit, I think. Fingers crossed, suck it in, whatever. But it is bottom up. So it is seamless construction, but you start at the bottom. All the edges where we think we would do ribbing are designed with a little bit of garter. So it's quite a deep garter at the cuffs.
But again, you're the boss, so you can do ribbing.
You can do whatever you want, for sure, if you prefer ribbing.
Right.
So because it was for the show, we had to do exactly as pattern.
We knit these in 10 days.
That was my next part of the story, right?
Sorry, I
So no, go ahead. So like between choosing the pattern, choosing the yarn, and us having a flight to Denver, we had 10 days to knit our own full sweaters because we had to wear them. Once we got there, we were filming. For they call it step outs, the little week to week that you see. There were amazing volunteer knitters that were knitting just the bottom and then just the sleeves or just the whatever. But we had to knit our own to wear.
We were so silly. We should have had them knit. Like, you have sample knitters? Please get them to knit my sweater.
Here's my size. But so it was literally 10 days of like
nonstop.
8 or 9 hours. Like it felt like 8 hours a day of knitting. But I was a slower knitter. It would be interesting to know how fast I could knit a worsted weight sweater now.
Do we have a week challenge?
But you remember we were like, oh my gosh, this is killing it. I actually got like
carpal tunnel,
like tennis elbow a little bit.
What happened to me?
you sent your sleeves to get knit. So when you knit,
I forgot that.
yeah. So when you knit bottom up with a sweater, you knit the body and then you have to knit the sleeves. And then once you get up to the armpits, you're doing a round where you knit the sleeve onto the body on both sides. And then for the top of the sweater, instead of doing raglan increasing here, which is what you would do if you started at the top,
Yeah.
you're doing these are all decreases. So you're working up to the neckline and you're making everything smaller. So the sleeves are actually a different part of the project than the body. You could have someone knitting the body and someone knitting the sleeves, and then the top is really the easiest, quickest part.
Yeah.
So you sent your sleeves away to Kelly, right?
And we were worried, something about we were worried that
They got lost.
They did get lost.
Yeah, you ended up having to knit them anyway.
Oh, I remember.
So this sweater, when I pulled it out, and that's one thing I love about knitting, there are memories
Yes.
literally in every stitch, in every project. So this is really special. But I tell you, this is knit in a Cloudborne 100% Highland wool, a worsted weight. And I don't think they do any yarn anymore, but it's non-superwash. It was great quality wool.
Really was.
So well priced. So many people knit a Zadie. And thank you if you ever like joined us in the knit along. But I would still recommend knitting this sweater.
I remember I was bummed, but it's okay that we weren't doing off our needles anymore. But while we were still doing off our needles, NBC bought
At the very end.
Craftsy, and I'm
Yeah.
like, we're gonna be fucking stars. What show
We're
are
like,
they putting?
can we
us-"
get on Ellen?
It was so funny.
I'm pretty sure Ellen's gonna want to knit. So if she's looking for a
Anyway.
knit night,
Oh,
get her to call us.
You brought me back to those memories. The people we
I'm
met.
still
the
sad we
memories.
don't do that show.
I would love to do a
I would
knitting
do it
show.
again
Oh,
tomorrow. It was
so good.
listen, doing the project with you is always the best. But that was a really fun experience. Like we go on the road together as sisters, we go on these trips.
Okay.
They treated you
You know,
amazingly. Like we just had
yes,
the best,
never
best
been.
time.
It's like they called us talent.
Jodi's a diva because of
Listen,
our experience
listen.
with Off Our Needles.
When we went to Denver, they put us always up in a. Is it DoubleTree with the cookie? No,
Yeah.
Hilton.
Yeah, it's a double tree, but that's part of the Hilton.
And then the hot cookies when you come in. We would order tea at night, and we would ask, "Can you go to the front desk and get 6 cookies?"
It wasn't until years later that I knew that cookie is just for check-in.
No, that's okay.
Every time we came in the front door of that hotel, we would say to the guy, "Hey, can we go in
I need my half dozen.
We must have gone in the elevator, and they must have been like those Canadian ladies came and got another cookie.
Boy, they have a sweet tooth.
Anyway, so Zadie is a bottom-up, seamless construction. You do have to kind of, and I would say if you're going to knit bottom-up, get a sweater out of your closet and measure. I find it hard to measure, is this long enough with bottom-up when you're knitting? So my tip for that would be to measure something that you have in your closet that you like the way it fits and knit to that depth.
Here's the thing I'll say about bottom up. Clearly, I don't remember, but I knit one.
You did, and it was so cute. You picked a lavender color, and I was like, are you sure?
I knit it. Yeah. No, I don't.
No wonder you don't remember
Someone
it.
is in the world wearing my Zadie in
Totally.
lavender. But what I will say is I'm not going to bash bottom up, but what I will say, the try-on
I don't like it.
isn't as accurate because you don't really know how long the increases are going to be once you add your sleeve,
Yeah.
like how the depth is. So you are holding it here thinking, oh, that's really good. But really, maybe it's going to be
Once
2 or
it's
3 inches
joined.
low.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think there's an element of guesswork when you're knitting bottom up.
Yes.
As far as depth like that. Another thing that's like honestly, I'm trying to think of pros to knitting bottom up, and I don't really have any. But my 2 things that I don't love about bottom up are you don't get to try it on as you go.
Yeah.
When you start at the top of a sweater, and whether it's round yoke or it's raglan shaping, but if you can try it on as you go, you have options to make the fit, change the fit as you go.
Here's what I would like to pick
This
a brain.
is like, it's as round as it is, right? There's no changing that.
I
when
would
you
love
cast
to
on.
pick designers' brains on I would love to talk about piecing and why you choose that. I kind of know that, like the structure and integrity of the garment is strong and yada yada. But bottom up, tell me what you think of when you think of bottom up as a designer.
And I think so important to swatch. Like that's for every sweater. If you want to be, if you want a fairly predictable fit for yourself, swatch, do everything you're supposed to do. But especially for bottom up, because once you've cast on and knit this big tube up to your armpits, like there's really not a lot of ways to change that fit. Whereas if you're, increasing in a raglan, you can do some extra increases if you feel like it's not going to be big enough.
Yeah.
You can decrease some stitches if you think it's too big. But the bottom up is not quite... I mean, you could decrease a little bit as you're going, but I don't know. I just find it not as fun to knit because you can't try it on as you go.
And listen, when you're spending that much time and money into a garment, you would love to take the guesswork out of it. Listen, we don't want any guesswork.
But look how pretty the detail of this sweater is. It's a garter cable. So a stockinette leg and a garter leg of the cable. It's very simple. And I would say, you know what? I'm not telling you to not knit this pattern. I would say absolutely knit this pattern, but just make your gauge swatch so you know what size you're casting on, and measure something in your closet as for depth of the body. And you're going to be great. It's going to be fun. We were so beginner when we did this. You can do it.
You got this.
Everybody can do it.
Okay.
Thanks for doing my ribbing. Isn't it fun?
I've steeked a sweater. How long do you have to do it?
9.5 inches.
The whole hat? I would like you to put my name on that gift, please.
Sure.
Okay.
Knit it yourself.
Steeked sweater.
Jodi. This is great.
A steeked sweater that wasn't intentionally steeked in the pattern instructions. This was a round yoke sweater.
This is the marsh.
I wish I hadn't have steeked it. Okay, tell us what the sweater is.
Okay, so I would actually disagree with you because of how beautiful this is on you.
Okay, I'm going to put it on.
But this is the Marshland sweater by Tin Can Knits. It was in their book Strange Brew. If you go look at it, it's a pullover.
Yeah. Oops. Taking off my cardigan.
And something just quickly, this is your deal, but let me just quickly say, Jodi bought this yarn at Knit City to make this sweater in about 6 minutes. She puts colors together. She was like, I want the dark gray as my main, and this is a new color, this is a new color, give me a like, you were so good at putting these together, and it was so quick.
Thank you. What I will say is they had 2 or 3 new colors come out, and it was the blue at the time and the green and maybe one of the light gray. And so then I went off that.
But still.
But I love this.
It's phenomenal.
This dirty, slimy, messy green.
It's a totally froggy green. Yeah.
So there's thought that goes into it. I did this without knowing how to do. When you steek a sweater, there's stitches in between as you knit to give you, like, you know, kind of,
yeah.
when you're knitting color work and you're going to steek, the instructions are, or if you know about, you knit like one of one color, like red, blue, or in this
you're
case,
adding the stitches that you're going to end up cutting.
Yes.
It's not just knit the sweater, cut up the middle.
Yes. I didn't know that. So, like, I don't know. I didn't know that. And so I almost lost this sweater when I cut it.
What don't you love?
I put it on. I put it on and I really like it. So maybe I would still steek it.
This is a wow for me, Jodi.
Okay, so this sweater on its own, you guys. Wow.
I should make this.
Tracie.
Steek it because I think it's stunning.
This is so good. I wish Tin Can Knits would like just do another giant book of yoked sweaters. They're so good.
Here's the thing. So if you guys have Strange Brew and you can get the ebook or whatever, it's basically a recipe. They call it a recipe. And there's fingering sport, DK, worsted, or Aran, I think. And it's you design your own sweater.
It's
and
plug
they give
and
you
play.
It's a choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
Choose your own sweater adventure. So you can use that with any stitch dictionary and make sure it fits. And
they
all
also
of that
have
stuff.
a million stitch patterns.
Yeah, they do have so many.
Okay,
stitch
so a few
patterns.
things I would tell you about this sweater is please knit it if you want to knit it because it's an amazing pattern.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
A couple things to remember is just watch a couple videos on steeking before you start. Just familiarize yourself. And when I say I almost lost it, meaning when I cut it up, that I felt like the stitches were kind of unwinding a bit, whereas if I would have had a little bit of knowledge ahead of time, I would have known better to do. I did the stitches in the middle, but I didn't do them how you should.
But don't you also think, for not knowing anything,
I learned so much.
That's how you learn.
Yeah, so much.
And
I was super proud of myself.
I mean, to me, it looks phenomenal done.
There's a couple of, yes, thank you. I love it. I'll take it. I loved knitting this. There's a couple of things to keep in mind when you're steeking. So the beginning of round isn't necessarily your middle point. In fact, a lot of times they don't put it there. They have you move it to like a back shoulder so it's not as noticeable when you're knitting color work, right?
It can be, but also the little tails of your yarn can get felted into the, once you cut it. So but you're right, though. You're not cutting through.
So be aware that your beginning around is not necessarily. And also,
true.
You have to be mindful, and I don't really care, but when it's not exactly in the middle of the stitches. You have to be actually, maybe this one is, you guys.
So in the middle.
It does look so in the middle now that I say that, but I have another sweater that you just have to be mindful because it's slightly off, which is okay for me. It's like this would have been two stitches shorter.
We're talking like a stitch or two.
Yeah, which really. So again, I was really proud of myself.
Yeah, totally.
I'll just show you the inside. So
and the yarn you use Brooklyn Tweed Shelter.
Yeah,
very sticky. It's kind of perfect for color work.
I think that was the reason if it was a superwash yarn that's slippery, I would have lost it and it would have unraveled too.
Yeah.
So there's my color work. And then here I did a crocheted reinforcement. And then I also ran a stitch of sewing stitch.
Did you?
Up at, yeah.
Oh, wow. That sucker's not going anywhere.
No. But then you guys, you see that like these things are like, this one came apart, but because the sweater is that stickier yarn, it's not going to unravel.
It won't. And someone said to me, stitches don't unravel this way.
Yeah.
They drop down. So, I mean, there's no unraveling that's going to happen.
Mind blowing. I added this little motif to the sleeve.
Yeah, it's such a gorgeous sweater. I can't get over it. It's really,
Jodi,
you need to wear it more.
And this is the yarn it was designed in. There's different weights in the pattern, I believe.
So it's worsted weight. There's a million color options for that.
Durarum Natura.
That Gilead would be awesome. Yeah.
I might have a color or two.
But that icy blue with the scummy froggy green,
This is what it would look like without steeked.
Right. And the pictures are beautiful. But let me tell you, it's a different look as a cardigan.
Hang on.
And I love that the color work goes into the body as well. It's not just the yoke.
That's what actually drew me to it. Probably, maybe, was the... I don't know.
You think you're going to knit one?
I think I like it better as a pullover.
I should knit you a pullover and then we can trade.
I was proud.
You should pick yarn. I'll knit you a pullover and we'll trade.
We've already determined there's not enough knitting time in your week, day, year, that we're not going to knit garments.
No, we're totally not doing it. But I would if you want to do something like that. With you and your mountain of Gilead yarn these days. Can you just
button me up back there? This is going to be a pullover.
Why don't we just sew it up? It's gorgeous.
Okay. So this is a round yoke construction, you guys.
And what does that mean?
It means that you're increasing at equal points around the whole thing at different points as you go. Start as a small circle, increase, knit a bit, increase, knit a bit, increase, and then you
It's more of a percentage thing. Like you don't increase at a regular rate. You've got different amounts of rows in between. And then like you'll do some rows without any increasing, and then all of a sudden a row where you add many stitches. Yeah. And, that's just the way that style of sweater is shaped. And I love it, though. I love that style of sweater.
We love a round yoke.
And so I brought a few here because I wear them all the time.
I brought a few round yolks too.
And let's just stay on the tin can knits train because I've always wanted to knit a colorwork sweater. So at the time, this is the year you bought that. Did you buy that and I bought this? I don't remember.
It just had come out.
It kind of,
Was
the book
year
had
it
just come out.
Yes.
So this is the Mountain Mist. Yes, these yarns are the exact same yarn.
It's also in the Strange Brew
Yeah.
collection.
Listen, Linda, if you're looking for a first colorwork sweater,
You loved it.
I would highly recommend Mountain Mist because there's not a lot of colorwork and yet it's so gorgeous. It also is round yoke construction. So you've got, a few rows where you increase.
It's so good.
It's so good.
I haven't seen that in a while.
I haven't, Jodi,
Yeah.
listen, it's
You got to
bad.
rotate.
And this yarn, this is Melissa of Sweet Fiber, so Vancouver-based designer or dyer. She has, I feel like her color palette, every color was a sweater to me. None of them, I would wear any one of them as a whole garment. And this was her cashmerino yarn. So
She still dyes it.
yeah, so it's worsted weight with a little bit of cashmere and
Sweet
MCN.
Fiber. She doesn't have a shop. She doesn't go to shows, but get on her
She
email.
has an online shop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I mean, yes, you
Yeah.
can find her online.
Yeah, so she's an indie dyer and she's incredible. I haven't seen her forever. We used to see her every year at Knit City.
Her and her mama.
I miss the ladies. But this is a very simple, I'm sure I have a project page for this one. But look at the tonality of the hand dyed.
I adore that.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah. I don't strive for 100% perfect all over coverage like I used to.
I don't remember what the name of this color is, but
Tea leaves.
No, this is a different one. Like, since when do I pick green? I don't
More
even know.
More often than you think because you have a couple of green sweaters.
I am a teal lover. So this one's quite dark. And then this was, I don't know, see something. Anyway, this was
Shipwreck.
Yes, shipwreck.
I think
Parchment.
I think that's eucalyptus.
Oh, maybe. And what's this one called that I love so much?
Rose gold.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I love it.
Yeah.
So this was a really worsted weight, simple top-down construction. You could try it on as you're going if you want. Worsted weight. I love it. And I would highly recommend it as a first colorwork sweater. I know you're going to have great success. And also there's a million patterns or projects on Ravelry. And I haven't worn this one for a while. It was in my to be washed pile.
Okay.
So, and it is superwash yarn. So this guy
Do you feel like you could wash it
goes
and
in the
dry
washing
it?
machine.
And the dryer?
I could, but I don't dry them. I wash them
Hear me
in the
out.
washing machine.
What about air fluff?
Possibly. Sure. I do think there's a way to do it. I just don't. The dryer is the thing that breaks down the fibers in your yarn.
Yeah.
So if you were in a time crunch and you had to have this thing dry by the morning, sure, put it on a very low temperature, dry it. But I love
Is
it.
Star here this morning?
I don't know.
I don't think we told Star.
I don't think we reached out. Star has a real life.
I know she has a real life, but I hope. You know what? My intention is
I have
always...
a feeling she doesn't know, and I haven't seen her. So,
okay, amazing.
thank you.
Should we continue
Super
with Tin
love.
Can Knits round yoke construction?
Yeah. Do you have another one?
Yeah.
Because I have two more round yolks that I love
Okay.
and would recommend. Go for
Do
it.
you did you bring the
No,
love note?
no, I didn't. Only because I feel like I've talked about it so much. I love the love
You've
note.
beaten it to death.
Well, this is the love note.
This is the love note. So, apparently we're big Tin Can Knits.
Giant.
Let me
Look,
just
this
say
is old news.
They do really fun yokes.
Yeah.
They do all over patterns, different sizes in their patterns, and different yarn weights.
And we've just always loved the size inclusivity of their patterns and the clarity, the ease of which they write. For us to knit, their writing is so clear.
yeah,
That's what I've always loved about
I
Tin Can
agree.
Knits. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
So
One of the many things.
I just wanted to show another thing you can think about when you're knitting a sweater. This is the love note.
Okay, I'll pull it up.
This is by Tin Can Knits. It's intended for a fingering weight yarn, held with a mohair, but a DK can be substituted.
Right.
I am not, at the time I knit this, I didn't feel like I would wear the small amount of lace work that's in the yoke.
I mean, it's a pretty decent amount of lace. So
Sure,
maybe maybe it's not your thing, right?
So
It's got a beautiful lace yoke.
it's so pretty. I don't know what was the matter with me.
I know. I think you would wear.
I think I would wear it. I would absolutely wear it.
Yeah, and it was really fun to knit. So I've knit that. I love it.
So pretty. So what I did was I followed the pattern exactly with no lace. And by that I mean it was charted.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say the chart had you knitting 20 rows.
Right.
So I would make sure you knit those 20 rows. You can't just skip them, obviously.
Right.
20 rows in straight stockinette, increasing where you had to if it was in the
Right.
pattern, but I would just knit straight stockinette. And then that way because here's the thing, we loved this on every body.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd really love it. I think it's adorable, but I wouldn't knit the lace, so I took out the lace.
And I mean, honestly, it's like cropped, and that's where I would normally think is like my zone that I'm more sensitive about. So what am I doing wearing a crop? It is the cutest. It looks good on everybody.
Alexa and Emily had us converted to
totally.
Everybody could wear any length, right? Because
that was my big lesson with the Love Note. I mean, it's very big gauge. I think it was 16 stitches, fingering and mohair.
It is.
So you knit it on like a 6mm needle or something wild like that, which is a giant bonus. Like, yes.
A little bit of a cropped. This was knit basically to pattern for length, but just no lace. So it's
really cute pattern.
It's got a little bit of a short rows back here, so it's got a bit of a high-low hem.
Yeah.
It's got a 3/4 inch sleeve, and I'm wearing a little bit of a longer, little bit longer t-shirt and leggings, you guys. I feel good in this.
Exactly. You look great. And it was a lesson for me on fit and everything.
Yeah.
And what I could wear and feel great in. And
yeah.
I love that it was a fairly quick knit. It was a super fun knit.
Yeah.
It really shines in like a beautiful indie speckled yarn. Like,
yes.
You know, even the lace, like it's not too much. It's so good.
This is spun right round. I can't quite remember, but if you reached out to Renee, maybe she could remember. It's a really fun all over wild speckle.
With lots of black.
She's amazing at speckles.
She's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it. So another one. So after the Mountain Mist, I was like, I love round neck construction, the yoke, round yoke. And I love the color work. And I wanted to do another one. And so Melissa at the time, was she Espace Tricot still? I think this is a free pattern still with the Espace Tricot on top of it. It's called Night Blooms, and the color work is done in 2 strands of mohair. And this was another awesome memory sweater. This was before they were about to launch their Sunday morning DK, and she said, would you like to knit something with it? And I was like, what? Oh my God, I would love to. So they gifted me the yarn, and I knit it, and I can't, again, it's kind of cropped.
Wear that a lot.
Kind of cropped. I love it. It's DK, Blueface Leicester Massam blend. And it is, I wear it so much, and I know it's just going to last forever because it's in this beautiful wool, right?
Yeah. Again, round yoke construction.
I love this.
Not all color work is necessarily round yoke. I think a lot.
Yeah.
Most.
I've seen some raglans too.
Right, but I would say
lots
probably are round yoke construction. Yeah.
You're right. You guys, I love this sweater. I love that the sleeves don't have any decreases. It's not a really snug sleeve. That's my preferred sleeve. These I knit them 3/4 length. I don't even remember the pattern, but I'm pretty sure I knit it just to pattern. I would love to knit this again. with full length sleeves and a regular length body. I love this one.
That's also something to think about once you get maybe more experienced, or maybe you're going to look at an item in your wardrobe that you want to mimic. The sleeve is something to think about, whether
Sure.
you like a tapered sleeve or like similar to yours, there really wasn't any decreasing
Right.
until there was some decreasing in the ribbing.
I don't know if I'd ever knit a sleeve before this that didn't decrease.
Yeah.
And it was my like, oh, I really like this. It's not gigantically oversized. So then I kind of knew for knitting subsequent patterns what circumference of sleeve I like.
Exactly.
And that's something that I really look at now when I'm doing a pattern. Even if it's raglan, I always check the size of the sleeve because some of them are gigantic and some of them are super tight. So I make sure that it's like, okay, this is the circumference I like. I'm going to make sure that it is that circumference, whether I'm taking less stitches or more stitches, but I know that's the circumference I like to wear.
Yeah. And you'll learn that and know that as you become more
100%.
experienced. But it is something, you know, the gauge and the stitches, but just be mindful of sweaters if you're new and picking something. The sleeve is something to think about too as you knit. That is customizable.
Yeah. So a great thing, and these are things we've learned in sweater classes with designers and whatever. A great thing to do if you want to knit yourself a sweater is get someone to measure your body. And then measure a sweater that you love.
I'm going to speak on that because I brought a sweater I love that was commercially bought and a sweater that was knit.
Okay. Because we
Excellent.
all think we know our bust size. We all think we know our waist size. Do we have any idea what our arm circumference is? Who the heck knows? But you need those numbers. And then when you know those numbers and you're picking sizes for sweaters, you're going to have so much success because you know what you want to end up with and what your body is. So I know it's a little short sleeve.
But
I'm
just
so good
I'm
on
looking
you.
at this
Yeah.
and just the no increases.
It's not gigantic.
It's not I wouldn't even, it's not a bell sleeve. It's just not cinched. But again, if you like it cinched, adorable.
Right.
Those are all things you can customize.
For sure. And you can even just do a decrease right at the end and do a little bit of ribbing. And then it looks like you've given sort of like a gathered sleeve.
That's exactly
It's super cute.
what they have here, you guys.
And
So
you don't have to take remember all your decreases. It just happens once at the end.
exactly. So it's knit all the way from when you pick up the stitches for the sleeves after you're finished.
We could share sweaters. That looks so good on you.
And then you just decrease some stitches right before you start the ribbing, which gives you like a little, it's cute.
I love that. That would be my second favorite.
As opposed to
taper.
Yeah.
I like the sort of looser and then pulling it in at the end or not pulling it in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And there should be some sort of knowledge on taper rate because we saw on my last episode, I had to redo the sweater because it was like that.
I mean, that's written into the pattern, but you didn't do that. Right?
Yeah,
So that is what we're paying
Follow
for.
your pattern.
You know, your designers know that it's written in the pattern. This is why we pay for professional patterns.
Yeah.
And then when we took our class with Hohi, we learned how to do that, designing your own.
Yes, we did.
So it is math, math, super mathy.
It's not terribly hard math.
No. But it's also in the pattern. So if you follow, buy a pattern you love and follow it, you're covered.
It's, yeah.
Right? Here's my last round yoke. That's it for me.
Okay, I have one more round yoke.
This is the Sonder jumper, and it's a pattern by the Petite Knitter. It was my first ever Petite Knitter knit, and I think my only. And as soon as I found her designs, I bought a whole bunch. So I have a whole bunch in my library that I want to knit. It is also knit in the Sunday Morning DK, which is now Sonder Yarn Company. Sunday Morning DK. That's actually what this is also. I love it. The colors I used are Full English, which is this super warm caramelly butterscotchy color. And this color is, the yoke is done in which is a smoky lavender. Kind of a wild, bizarre combination, and one I just love every time I pull it out
Where
of my
you
closet.
would think like a toffee caramel
Yeah.
with a lavender. You think,
And you know, it
It's
sort of reads like a
perfect.
pale gray,
when it's back like that.
but it's a little jazzier than just a pale gray. Like, yes, you could put pale gray, but
God,
this is
it's
like a
so
little
good.
bit extra.
Yeah.
This is one of my most worn sweaters
Yeah.
because it's longer than this one, and the
Okay.
sleeves are longer than this one,
Okay.
and yet the silhouette is very similar.
I see the sleeve is nice and no decreases.
It's
That's
same thing. So same
beautiful.
designer. No, not the same designer. Similar. But I wonder, it looks like there might have been some decreases.
A couple.
Anyway, the petite knitter has so many beautiful patterns, so many beautiful sweaters,
I've yet to knit
accessories.
hers.
Yeah,
I really
you would
want
love.
to knit.
You would love. So, I mean, I have a whole pile that I need to get knitting, and this is definitely one I wear all the time.
So something I wanted to touch on before we get too far is this sweater here. Tracie mentioned it was the Sonder yarn as the light gray, but I just want to mention that you guys can layer yarns. They don't have to be the same yarn throughout the sweater. So this is DK held single.
Yeah.
And then Tracie, like she mentioned, she did a fingering and a mohair. And
No, it's 2 strands of
oh,
mohair.
sorry, 2 strands of mohair.
And that's in the pattern. That wasn't me.
right.
Yeah.
But you could do fingering and like you could. Don't be afraid to layer and mix
100%.
yarn.
And this is the first time I'd even thought that that would work. And I love it. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
It's got a bit
And
of a,
honestly, I only needed one little, whatever those little balls are of
50 grams.
Issa or yeah, and I had leftovers.
Yeah. Wow.
I know. I thought this can't possibly be enough, but it was.
Okay. But gorgeous.
Highly recommend.
I wanted to say that.
Thank you. You're
this-
so right.
This next sweater again.
And if at the same, sorry, in
No,
the
you're
same
good.
respect, if you don't like mohair and you don't like that, put in another DK in there.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
If that's going to make or break a pattern for you, you know, yarn substitution is part of the fun as knitters, right? That we're knitting things we love to wear. And I don't want to do sleeve decreases and I don't want to do a cropped whatever. That's the fun of knitting your own garments.
I absolutely
Yeah.
agree. So this is another round yoke. It is by Melissa again.
Okay, look at that.
Listen, when I put this sweater on, so many things.
Oh, it looks so good on you.
Just got to get my t-shirt out of the way. You guys, I can't tell you how much I love. Tracie's going to be able to speak to this. This is another round yoke recipe with a couple of like stripes that just add so much.
Couple of chevrons. It's really pretty.
What sweater is this?
This is the Missoni Accomplished, which again, Melissa is a free pattern. If you look under Espace Tricot, Melissa designed it. She designed it in the lichen and lace rustic heather sport, so in a wool. And then when that's a sport weight, and then I decided to make it for Jodi for her birthday, which we're in July, and I decided to use a worsted weight 50 wool, 50 cotton yarn. It's by
Look at the drape.
Retrosaria. It's a Portuguese wool recycled cotton yarn. It's so light.
I can't tell you how amazing this fabric is.
So I did not knit at the gauge stated in the pattern. I'd made a swatch and decided how many stitches I was getting per inch, and then went to the pattern and found one that was going to be that circumference. So
Yeah.
it was very simple to do, simple math, and a joy to knit. And these were both Mungo by Retrosaria.
Here's something that I want to say about this sweater. Like many of the silhouettes here, it is oversized. It's, again,
Zero shaping.
boxy, no shaping on the sleeve as well, straight down.
Yeah.
It's a round yoke construction. This would be an amazing, if you love this shape, blank canvas
Yeah.
for a million things. This obviously has the chart for color work.
Yeah.
And it's here on the body, here on the bust.
It's like a few rows of color work, a few rows of stockinette, and a few more rows. Like it's very little color work. It would be a great one if you wanted to venture into just a simple pattern.
I can't tell you.
And that's a high contrast color combo, but you could do low contrast.
Here's also what you can customize with this is, again, ribbing can always be doubled, tripled, or shortened. I think it would be fun if you did like a bit of a mock and you did, 2 inches of ribbing.
Or how about 8 inches of ribbing and it's a fold over turtleneck? Like
How about?
Maybe somebody wants something super cozy.
Yeah.
I actually think it would be really cool to...
I would not wear it with this t-shirt because it doesn't do the neck.
And I mean, this is more of a transitional knit because it's 50% cotton.
There we go.
And that was kind of the point of it.
But I wear this all year.
You can, absolutely.
Yeah.
It also, I think it might be fun to do one color of yarn, and then for the color work, just add a strand of mohair in a different color.
Yes.
So you're going to see the chevron, but it'll be like a marl. Like that's sort of always been in the back of my mind for something like that.
Okay.
I love the pattern.
Oh, so good.
I would definitely recommend it.
Something else that you just touched on is marling our yarn, and I brought this to show. What's this sweater?
This is ranunculus.
Ranunculus, sorry. You've knit it.
Yeah.
I had to get on the train. I had this knit for me. It's so pretty.
It's a really
But
cute.
marling yarn, which means, for those who don't know, is either you can marl with different colors of the same weight, where you kind of knit a row, a combination of rows to kind of marl yarns together. Hold 2 colors together. This, for an example, was a very, very light blue fingering weight yarn held with a hot pink mohair.
And it really, that hot pink mohair just tints everything. And it's high contrast, so you can really see both colors.
Yeah.
I love it.
You can have the same you can have a different effect if you held the fingering, the mohair, the same color.
Right.
Listen, you guys, this is really fun. Not our marling works because I had a hat knit.
Oh, yeah.
Leah knit a hat for me and it came back. Beautifully knit hat, but it was awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
That, it's worth it to do a tiny little knit patch.
Oh, and I thought, these colors are going to be amazing together.
Yeah.
It made the most awful color.
Aw.
So mixing and matching yarns to get the gauge weight of a sweater can be really fun and get the most beautiful fabric.
And the fun thing about this pattern, first of all, it is so widely knit. If you go to Ravelry and check it out, you're going to see, I keep saying a gajillion patterns, but there really is probably almost 2 gajillion of this one. So it's originally knit with fingering weight and mohair at a gigantically open gauge, very open, sort of romantic fabric. But you can, because the gauge is so open and varied, you can substitute so many different yarns.
Yeah.
I actually knit this in an Aran weight linen. And I wear it. I meant to bring my linen sweaters because part of the, I love knitting and wearing sweaters all year long. And let me tell you, I wear that linen ranunculus so much in the summer. I would love to knit another one. So this is one you can do long sleeved, you can do with lots of different yarns, and it is one of the ones that can fly off your needles because...
Well, there's no sleeve.
Well,
it's
that
just ribbing.
for sure. And even if you do any kind of sleeve, it's a giant gauge. It's like the Love Note 6mm needle or something like that. But you can substitute DK and mohair. You can do just worsted weight.
It's got really
wool.
pretty movement.
You can make it look so many different ways. It's such a pretty pattern. It's by Midori Hirose, and it's got very simple but beautiful texture up top. I would like to knit myself a fuzzy one for winter because I just have ones for the summer.
I love it. Okay,
Jodi, that looks great.
So the
on
next thing I thought I would speak on is the same pattern and how it can look 1,000,000% different, sweater to sweater.
Okay, I have the versions of those.
Do you have a full?
I have exactly versions of those.
Okay, bring it up.
Okay, you go. Keep going.
So we have talked about the Jessie made pattern, the cozy classic raglan.
Yes.
To death. We're going to talk about it till the end of time.
And we're not done yet.
Because we think this is an amazing recipe / tutorial for a place to start knitting.
Yeah. If somebody buys the pattern, which I highly recommend, if you ever want to knit a raglan sweater at that gauge, I 10 out of 10 recommend that pattern. There's a lot of information in it, which is incredible because she's got like bust shaping and things like that that are so inclusive for fit.
Learning how to fade yarns if you want to do stripes or fading yarns together.
Yeah.
There's so much information.
If you want to knit just a plain raglan sweater, you can bypass that information, but the value that is included in that pattern is fit options as well as things like, you know, just the way it'll look, like fading, which is, I feel like the marling thing and the fading is because she wants you to help you use your stash. Single skeins of something like a stash bust. You don't have to buy a whole sweater quantity of yarn to make it work.
Yeah.
But honestly, the pattern alone,
I'm just going to pull it up.
I've knit it 3 times and I'm not done. And I feel like
I'm just getting started.
I so recommend it. And I'm still not done. So there's a lot of information, but don't let it, you know, stress you out. You don't have to do all of the things that are in it, but there's just a huge amount of value added. It's more than just a pattern. And you're the one that knit it first. And I was like,
okay,
what's this cozy classic thing?
So she has a giant section on choosing your size. So it's not just like the little blurb we normally see on a sweater. It's like it talks you through what to think about and what you're going to look at. Suggested yarns, a giant section.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to use DK. Maybe you want to use a different weight and get gauge. Construction, suggested needles, mohair and fingering instead of DK. A big color sequence on changing yarns if you want to marl. Marling? The following pattern is a series of 24 rounds that will happen across 4 inches of knitting on how to make a pretty marl.
Right. How to blend single skeins to make kind of a cool faded, one-of-a-kind garment.
There is a tubular bind cast on. If you don't want to do that, just cast on and do ribbing for the neck.
Yeah. And those are all like aesthetically beautiful things, but I just feel like she paid so much attention to fit.
There's waist shaping if you choose.
Yeah.
If you don't want it, go to this section and knit straight.
Yeah. Bust shaping.
I can't tell you how amazing
so that
this
it's
one
not
is.
super baggy up here and then because you want it to fit, you know, a larger bust. No, she accommodates the increase of your chest size. It doesn't mean you should have a big baggy neck. It's a whole thing.
You guys?
It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
I love it.
The modifications, it says yoke length. It walks you through yoke length modifications. If you like a deeper yoke, if you need more room in the bust, a bubble sleeve modification, a short sleeve modification. You guys, you need to buy this pattern.
I also think if you were a newer sweater knitter or a frustrated sweater knitter, one thing that that has made a big difference for me, and as far as the way I feel and feel like my sweaters fit me and look, if you pay a lot of attention to how things fit you up here, like in the bodice, in the like how much fabric is in your sleeve, your neckline. If all of that fits a certain way, I just feel like it looks like it's perfectly made for you, and it's a more tailored kind of look.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it has to be tight, but just choosing the right size for your, you know, shoulders and upper body like that. And then, of course, this bust shaping, if you need it, that's incredible.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of that happening, I don't think, in a lot of patterns. But you can make it so that it looks like it was made just for your body, which is what you're doing.
So this sweater was made as is, as far as shape and construction. But what I did add was my own kind of 1 or 2 rounds of different colors of DK weight.
So this is the Cozy Classic Raglan.
This is the Cozy Classic Raglan, and I added DK weight into the yoke.
Minis. So amazing.
Right.
Jodi, you're so good at that.
This is knit out of, again, Sweet Fiber. This is an older knit.
This is phenomenal.
I don't ever pull this out to
I
wear.
know.
What?
Jodi, you don't wear your sweaters enough, in my
Okay.
humble opinion.
No, that's 100% accurate.
Right? Like, it's easy to go to a sweatshirt or whatever, but you've put so much artistry into your sweaters.
So this is what I'm telling you is important when it comes to a good fitting sweater. You can see this just doesn't sit up here. This sits down and it kind of just rests. The increases are beautiful. Forget about this. It's just like it's the perfect
But
fitting.
if you had the sleeve, if the sleeve was big and baggy, you would have this weird poochy
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
here, and it just looks, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're going for like extra fabric look, that's one thing, but I love, she's so good. Like,
Yeah.
it just fits perfectly.
This is following the sleeve decreases. This is what we mean by a tapered sleeve, where it's got some ease here and it slowly tapers down in a pleasing way. So it kind of just barely fitted, like zero ease almost when you get to the cuff.
It's super traditional, like a tailored fit like that. I love
I
it.
can't even tell you. And then all I
It's
did,
so
you
good on
guys,
you.
is I just knit about an inch, and then I just started knitting a couple of rounds of.
So these are minis. These were Tanis Fiber Arts minis.
And actually, yeah, if I'm getting to be exact, I would knit one, slip one. No. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Knit one, slip one, because then that makes a little exaggerated bump, just so there's a little bit of, not
It's
just
so fun for the eye to look at, the way that
rather
that
than
blends.
just
Yeah.
regular knit rows would be fine too, but I just knit one, slip one, and then knit around. Knit one, slip one when you change the color.
I love that round where you're introducing the new color.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And so easy.
This is why we speak of this sweater pattern
Mm-hmm.
as your recipe and your starting point to be creative with whatever you want to do.
100%.
There was something I thought of. Keep going, I'll think about it.
Okay, so the first time I used this pattern, this is also the Cozy Classic Raglan. There are no stripes written into the pattern. It's just the raglan shaping,
Your sleeve's way shorter than mine.
way short. This is
I
a
love
3/4
it.
sleeve, and actually I used Brooklyn Tweed Imbue, which is worsted weight. So I think it was right on gauge. It's like is it 18 stitch gauge?
I believe so, but
I
can
think I
confirm
knit
that.
it to gauge, but I wanted to add some stripes, and so I had some. I held Brooklyn Tweed Loft.
18.
Yeah, so this
Easily.
is worsted weight yarn,
Yeah.
so it works. You can definitely go across the yarn weights with DK. DK gives you that little bit more open gauge. That's pretty easy gauge to get with worsted weight yarn. This imbue is so beautiful. It has the little bit of tweedy bits kind of in there, and it's a soft kind of like merino type wool. I'm not sure if it is merino, I forget, but I used the hummingbird color. I remember that. And this is just a little bit of cream colored shelter, Brooklyn Tweed shelter, and Brooklyn Tweed Loft, which I held double in the, what's that one called? Postcard color, which is kind of a lavender, smoky lavender with a little bits of
Really
pink
marl,
and
it's
red. But again, it's kind of a boxy fit, and I just did a straight sleeve with no decreases. And it's a really nice, sometimes I put a collared shirt under it. Sometimes it's, in warmer weather, it's just fine by itself with the
No
shorter
way
sleeves.
would you be able to tell that these two sweaters were the same pattern.
Right.
So we've customized yarn weight, you've customized sleeve, you've customized the stripe pattern.
Yeah.
Endless possibilities
Right.
with sweater knitting. Okay, we have
And it's still only stockinette stitch. It's not like I'm doing any fancy knitting. It's just, I'm going to add some stripes. And how I decided how I was going to add some stripes is what looked good to my eye at the moment.
yeah.
Right? It was just that. And it was a total stash buster with the stripes. I did not buy extra yarn for that.
Would you believe me if I said this was the same pattern?
See?
Are you serious? So tell us about this and where you customized.
This was, so this is Jodi's beautiful hand dye yarn, 95% of it. I did use DK, Frankie Gray Fibres in their awesome Superwash DK in a whole bunch of colors. This dark color actually is Sweet Fiber in her DK. So it's kind of a perfect meld like that. But I just think the pale gray of like the sweatshirt gray, it was, what was the color? Was that denim? I don't think so. I mean, this is a while ago now, so colors evolve, right? But it gave me the sweatshirty gray vibe, and then I was
love
like,
it.
I wanted to do the sweatshirt.
I don't think we have this color anymore.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But mouse gray might work.
Oh, absolutely.
This would
You
be a
wouldn't
great
know-
substitute.
yes.
Get mouse gray if you like
Yeah.
this look. And I really wanted to make it a knitted sweatshirt. So I did the ribbing in a contrasting creamy color. And then that little line that lots of sweatshirts have with the pop of color in Lollipop, which is such a good coral.
Yeah.
And I added Mayflowers, and I'd have to count, but I think it was 10 rows of main color and 3 rows of a contrast color. And that goes all the way to the bottom where
Yes.
also your ribbing, all the ribbing is kind of
It's the same.
sweatshirty with the cream.
So, like,
And that was a birthday present
this is.
and a hoot to knit.
I love this so much. I love the customization that you did. You took a pattern and you came up with your own creative way to stripe, to color, and it's amazing.
I just think I love the idea of a knitted sweatshirt because we like to wear casual things, and the colors you're dyeing just are totally the inspiration, Jodi.
Look at this.
Like, and I'm not doing any fancy.
Same pattern.
Yeah. You can honestly do the same exact. I mean, obviously you can tell stripes are our jam. They make me
fun.
so happy. And there's no fancy knitting. And it's a total stash buster. It's
Yeah.
straight stockinette. You could knit it lots of different people because it's a super size inclusive pattern as far as that goes. I love it.
Okay, you have one more.
And then you were saying too, we can keep modifying the yarns. So after I knit that for Jodi, she gifted me yarn for my birthday, Frankie Gray Fibres, in the On the Vine. I fell in love with her On the Vine red. It's such a beautiful tomato red. So I knit this version of the Cozy Classic Raglan in fingering weight and mohair. It's my favorite.
it's so good.
It's my favorite.
You picked pink. I had several people order this ballet slipper. I think
This was Pinch Me, maybe?
I know, but it's
super-
now ballet slipper.
Okay.
Because but if people
It's-
love this combination,
I have to say, Jodi, ballet slipper is a perfect word for it because it is that ballet pink. And so this is the mohair, fingering and mohair of On the Vine,
just
and
finding the
fingering
pattern.
and mohair of ballet slipper. So just come on. And I kind of screwed up the neckline. The neckline came out too big for me. I will say that's one thing about this pattern. I've tried to do the tubular cast on. I've never really been, both times my neckline turned out kind of big. So that's the part that I would practice again. Maybe I need to go down more needle sizes. Maybe I
went down 2 like you suggested, and it was still too big.
So maybe I need to cast on a smaller size and then increase after that, because I have had issues with my neckline.
If someone has any tips on the cast on, a rolled cast on edge, let us know.
It was tubular, yeah. And so that's, I mean, she's got 2 ways to do tubular cast on, I think, in the pattern. There's
Yeah.
so much in there.
Yeah.
So basically what I ended up doing is taking off my neckline and re-knitting just some ribbing, but I ended up unraveling so much that it went into the short rows. To me, it was a mess. So what I ended up doing was adding some embroidered daisies in 2 strands. This is 2 strands of mohair.
Now you wear this all the time.
For one moment, first of all, I was up here. Oh, red and pink. I love it. And then I took off my neckline and I was down here. I was like, it looks like
Garbage.
shit. I'm throwing this in the garbage. And then I added some embroidery. And now I'm back up here again.
Because Tracie's, if you guys remember, when Tracie, it went into the short rows and she tried to pick them up again, and it didn't look as nice and polished when she was done.
And I learned a lot. And it's not that I wouldn't take my neckline off again. I just learned a better way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because when it's top down, you're knitting this way.
Yes.
And then when you take off your neckline, you're going to be going this way.
Yeah.
So there is that transition.
You better know what you're picking up.
Don't do it before coffee. Don't do it late at night. But anyway, so what I ended up doing, I loved the embroidery so much. I continued it a little bit on the side, which I never see when I'm wearing it. And
Just
I
make it
continued it
cohesive.
a little bit on one sleeve. And this is one, oh, and I put one little one right at the back. And so I don't know what anybody else thinks, but this is a joyful sweater for me. And it's one of my favorite ones to wear. It is the perfect boxy. I wear it all the time.
You do wear it all the time.
So I'm not sick of it, but I need to knit myself another.
You please must make it a priority, maybe over the holidays, to embroider the gray sweater. I cannot wait to see what you do with that.
I feel like I should send it to a good embroiderer.
No.
I'm not good. I don't know how to do any of that stuff.
You're not good. You don't have years of practice behind you.
True.
But when you do it, it's charming and it's fun. Your colors that you choose are going to be amazing.
Well, I just love daisies in general. Like
Yeah.
in life, I've loved daisies forever. And then the little daisy stitch couldn't be more simple if you're looking to do starter embroidery. So
Love it.
Yeah. So I need to do another one of these. And whether it's striped or embroidered or not, I don't know. But this shape and these yarns together, the fingering and the mohair at the 18 stitch gauge, is my
Sweet spot.
happy place.
You heard it here.
Happy.
You've heard it here.
You heard it here.
Okay. The second to last sweater that I brought is a V-neck because we love V-necks.
Jodi. And I still keep thinking.
Have you knit a V-neck?
No.
Tracie. I'm going to put this on. This is the deep.
Have I knit a V-neck?
This is the Northwoods V.
Yes, I did, but I didn't like the way it came out.
Again, by Jessie Maid Designs. Now, Jessie Maid, we can't say enough about her pattern.
Totally.
Again.
This is way better than the one I did. This is right up there for me in favorite sweaters that you've knit.
The construction, this is one of my top threes.
Yeah.
The construction, you start at the back, you come over the sleeves, you pick up, you continue to build this until you're, in the round, and then you continue down. Pick this up after, pick up the sleeves and knit.
It's
Amazing.
Such a good fitting sweater on you.
So, her original sweater was knit with stripes.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I had this sweater quantity. This is Hedgehog Fibres. Tweedy. And it's in it's undyed. It's one of their original ones that they had. And
it doesn't look like it's picking it up as great as it is in person.
Yeah.
This is 10 out of 10 amazing tweed in person.
This sweater is your perfect drop shoulder.
Yeah.
There's some increases in the sleeve, but it's still nice ease. It's got such a nice V.
It's perfect.
It's not too long, but it's not up here and looks funny.
Yeah.
For me, this is the perfect V. This sweatshirt is so
That's
perfectly
what it could be
fitted.
called, the perfect V. And I love that you imagined it. Like, it's when a designer puts something out, it's easy to just, copy or mimic that as it's a striped sweater.
Yeah.
But I love that you had a vision of it in one color.
Yeah.
One yarn. And it's really not one color because there's like neon pops of tweed everywhere. But that, I would love to do this sweater. Again, probably fingering and mohair.
Tracie, the fit and the comfortability of this sweater is next level for me.
You guys, because we're here and we're besties and we're having a knitting thing. Hedgehog Fibres has a big sale right now for this weekend, I think. If you've not knit with Tweedy, or maybe your local yarn shop has some, I think you would love it. I would definitely knit another.
I'm just going to their website.
I knit a sweater in this yarn as well, and it's one of the ones I wear all the time now. It's very sweatshirty. It's one of my rotation, like every week. I will wear it every week for sure. But it's beautiful yarn. And I love the whole idea where all the bits of tweed was recycled yarn. They were, it was the first one I saw that did that. I'm not aware when all of them started, but I love the whole theory of less waste, using more, it just turns out to be the cutest yarn. And now they've started, so they had this Tweedy, and then they had Tweedy Noir, which is black with tweed. And then now they've dyed several colors. There's some soft blues, greens, lavenders, pinks.
Yeah, I was trying to get to a place where we could see more of the colors, but there are several colors to choose from: a dark gray, a light gray, a moonlit, which is kind of like a light blue. There's a peachy. There's a black.
Yeah.
There's a pink. Also, there's a couple. What's that yarn store that had two exclusive colorways?
Oh, Jimmy Bean's Wool.
Jimmy Bean's Wool had two.
They had a sunny yellow, and they had like a sky blue that was so nice.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful, and it
look at this, you guys.
It made a sweater that I love to wear all the time. Yes. Right? That's not too heavy, not too light, and you didn't have to do anything but just knit, and all these fun little things just keep popping up in it. Yeah. It's beautiful, Jodi.
Yeah.
I have another sweater that I wear all the time.
Oh.
And it's a totally different construction than I've ever knit. And this is the Ship Shape sweater. Look at that.
That's fun.
So
I haven't knit one like that.
So this also is, I guess, drop shoulder or modified drop shoulder. I don't know. I don't know what you would call this. Yeah. Right? I don't know.
But a saddle shoulder, maybe.
To knit this sweater, you knit these little like triangles, striped, and then you end up casting on stitches to join them. Bless you.
Sorry, I have a tickle in my throat.
Bless you. And this is Heidi Kiermaier. I hope I'm getting that right. My brain, I don't.
I'm just going to play connections.
You do that. Yes, it's Heidi Kiermaier.
Yeah.
So I love, love, love this design. She knitted in a yarn that is,
look at that.
like I think it had a cotton content, sort of as like a summery or transitional knit. This is a DK weight yarn, basically.
Look, I just want to highlight. You didn't. Oh yeah. If you choose the darker color as your main, maybe look at how she has her ribbing on her.
Yeah,
it just looks differently, and
it
then
does.
The photo underneath, look, she's done a third color on her cuff and her hem.
There are so many modifications to this. Some people have done solid color of the little triangles, and that looks really cute. I did. So there is no finished neckline on this, but I knit mine in a woolly wool. I knew this was going to be a winter sweater. This is knit in La Bien-Aimée Corey worsted. It's so beautiful. That was
beautiful.
It was an incredible gift. So thank you, Amy at La Bien-Aimée. I used the colors French gray, which is their undyed, and this is, I believe, Lee's. And when you look at Lee's, it's like this super bright magenta. And I just thought it would be a great striped sweater. It's woolly. I would knit this again tomorrow. I had so much fun knitting this.
Oh, short sleeved.
And it's got a more traditional tapered sleeve, but it's woolly and nice. This is beautiful yarn, beautiful pattern.
It's funny because
you should knit one of these, Jo. They're
it's
so fun.
Funny because we talk about all these things that come from experience knitting. And I've learned so much from Tracie. I learned from other knitters. I take inspiration. So we hope we're not done, but it just makes me think.
That's the whole point of this, right?
I'm excited for people to know that they can see this and knit one.
And I'm not hiding anything in my closet that I would recommend you don't knit. This is as honest as we can be. We're just giving you our experience.
Yeah.
I loved this. First of all, the pattern was phenomenal, and there's so many sizes in it. I don't know, what size does it go up to? 6X or 70 inch.
Thank you, Heidi.
From 33.5 inch. Like, how do you get more size inclusive, from extra, extra small to what she calls 6X, which is 70-inch circumference. So, hallelujah, that's phenomenal. But it was really, really fun to knit, and I would absolutely do this tomorrow. I don't think it's drop shoulder because you're shaping this as you're knitting it down, like you're doing increases for the sleeve, and then you pick up your sleeve and knit them in the round later. Yeah. But whatever you call the construction, I loved it.
Love it.
And I love wearing stripes. So
can I just take a moment? I just went on La Bien-Aimée because I wanted to show you the yarn that she was working with. I filtered by base.
Oh yeah.
But look at the photos and the website they have.
It's so
to select what base you want to look at. Whoever's doing their website.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It is, La Bien-Aimée is phenomenal. And Amy's always dreaming up new yarns and releasing new yarns.
You said that's Corey Worsted?
Corey Worsted. But since then, they've come out with Wensley worsted or something. So this base is a gray base that it's dyed on. Oh. And now they've got a white base they dye on. So you can get like super bright neon-y fun colors.
And I bet you she's got a sale this weekend.
But I do just want to point out that the original design was knit kind of in like a alpaca, cotton, whatever. But if you prefer woolly wool or you prefer cotton linen or what, like you can make these changes to make it something that you're going to wear. Just because it's not presented in a way that's perfect for you doesn't mean you can't tweak a little bit. That's what's so great about swatching. Yes, there are things that are great about swatching.
Well, we feel like if we're going to be honest about this,
100%,
and you want to knit a good fitting sweater, you got to swatch. Sorry.
Oh, somebody said Star is here. Good morning, Star.
Wakey, wakey.
No, you're the worst. So ship shape, I could knit another one tomorrow.
I'm just seeing if they have like a big picture of all their colors on that Corey Worsted. It's a beautiful base, you guys.
Yeah, it took me forever to pick colors.
They have a million colors.
Because they're all stunning. But I really love the color I picked. I wear it often with jeans, black, whatever. That's all I ever wear.
Show that cardigan and modifications that you made to it. I'm going to pull up the...
That's why I wanted
Georgia!
to...
Georgia! We're podcasting.
Hi. This is why I wanted to share this one. Speaking of La Bien-Aimée, we did a knit along with La Bien-Aimée. This was another awesome experience where we got to inspire yarn colors. What? I can't even say that and believe myself.
That was the most fun. Ravelry still has all these Halloween knits. And
I saw that.
Mid-November.
I saw that.
Do better. November 1st, you should have had up.
I saw that. So this is the Comfort Fade Cardi by Andrea Mowry, which has been knit also by
Everybody.
Gajillion knitters. But so this was knit in a fade set from La Bien-Aimée in the Sienna color palette. It's phenomenal and gorgeous. It's a DK weight superwash merino. You can see all the colors are slightly different.
Oh,
Amy's a phenomenal fade artist.
Yeah.
So if you're in the market for a fade, like look,
she's got you.
the whole fade thing is still incredible. But
this is what the original was designed for. A longer sweater with an oversized shawl collar. So stunning.
So it's like, to me, like a grandpa cardigan shape, which I love, which is really long and a big shawl collar. And I'm short. I know you can't tell because I'm sitting on a chair, but I'm only 5'2", and I wouldn't buy a cardigan that's that long, way past my bum. I don't know. I just wouldn't feel good in it. And also the shawl collar. It's something that never sits well for me on my neck. So I decided to crop the sweater. It goes just to my waist. And I was like, you know what? I'm not. And also, yarn-wise, the shawl collar is a lot of yarn. So if you wanted to do, all I decided to do was a twisted rib. And I picked up my stitches on my sweater just the way Andrea said. She gives you a pickup rate.
It's nice.
Not the number of stitches. So if she said pick up every 3 out of 5 or 5 out of 7, that's what I did. I didn't worry about my stitch count, just the rate of increase. So, and then all I did was twisted rib and kind of changed my colors, faded a little bit for myself, until I was done. And then I did the sewn Italian bind off.
I got, where, here?
All the way around the ribbing. Like
We got to show it.
because you pick up.
You guys.
It's the first time I did it, but it gives you the cleanest. There's no like
As
line.
opposed to this is, you can see your line of stitches, right? It's beautiful.
But hours. I'm not going to lie to you. That was hours of sewing.
Is it like Kitchener stitching? Everything?
Yes.
Oh,
But let me tell you, I would do it again because the finish on it is phenomenal.
I thought it was backwards. But is this the outside?
The outside is the reverse stockinette. Yeah.
So that's the inside. I like that.
Jodi, it's great.
Okay. The changes you made in this were beautiful.
I never would have if I had followed the pattern as written, this would sit in my closet and I would never wear it.
Look, what a nice...
As it is, every time I wear this out in the world, I get compliments on the sweater. People love it. The colors are out of this world.
See, this is a really good example. You saw the cardigan that Kelly knit. She purposefully knit and added fabric for it to sit here. That was her design element. Andrea knit it to be here, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's traditional, pretty straight.
Yeah.
Somebody said how long, because the formula for doing a sewn bind off is, I think you need 3 times the length of whatever you're binding off as for because it's sewing. So you've got to measure, like whether it's
So this is what you're doing the whole time.
Yes,
it
yes.
through. Oh,
so if it's
nightmare.
around the top of a sock, you need 3 times that plus a little
Okay.
bit of a tail. For this, it would have been about 8 miles of yarn. So honestly, I did not do. I wove in a few extra ends. I pulled out as much yarn as I felt comfortable. For
you're
so I
smart.
probably I did 2 strands of yarn. So I did about enough for halfway and then just attached a new one. So there's 2 tails there now and I'll weave them in later. And then there'll be a tail on either end. And that was way more enjoyable for me. It's not the end of the world if you have to add another strand of yarn. It's not like you can't finish your
I've never tried
project.
on these sweaters of yours ever. This is spectacular.
Jodi, this sweater is amazing.
The okay, so you guys saw, if you would see someone who knit it to the pattern, beautiful,
Yeah.
stand next to Tracie, you would never know it's the same garment.
No, totally. And I tell you, I had never faded anything.
Let me tell you.
Let me tell you. The fading is written into the pattern.
Yeah.
It is so easy, and the pattern is wonderful to knit from.
Yeah.
And you can make
look
this
at
a
that.
stash buster, you guys. If you go way back in our videos, we had a live video with Amy and Andrea Mowry to kick off this. I can't even believe and say this stuff.
We should do that
We've
again.
had fun.
We've been able.
And then it was a
pinched
huge
myself.
knit along.
Yes,
Yes.
Star, that was fun.
Yes.
Good morning.
You guys, it's just such a treat. We had so much fun.
Yeah.
And this sweater had been out for a long time. And
This sweater been out well over a year, maybe
way.
more, 2 years.
yeah. I mean, and what does that say about a pattern that companies are still doing kits
October 2017.
years and years
3
down the
years,
road?
6 years later.
Yeah. So Andrea talks about how you can stash bust for fading, like in something like this, and just know if you're going to do ribbing instead of a shawl collar, you need less yarn.
Much less.
I had a few skeins.
Tracie also drastically cropped.
I had many skeins left over, and I sent those all out in prizes, like sock bash prizes and knit along prizes. So
I kept one.
anybody that got La Bien-Aimée skeins from us, that's where it came from.
I kept one DK Jasper.
Yeah. I don't have that.
So I was such fond memories of that collaboration
too.
with La
Me
Bien-Aimée. They're
too.
amazing.
Yes, they are.
Okay. Barcelona is having their festival.
No, it was last weekend. It's over.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I saw
missed
some.
it.
I saw some Instagram stuff. So it was this past weekend.
It looks wonderful, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to go?
Oh yeah, because we talked about Paola
Who
not
wouldn't
going.
want to go to Spain for
Yeah.
a knitting festival?
Okay. Tracie quickly touched on, and this is what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
When you are at the very beginning of your knits, sometimes it's like, what do I want to knit, and how am I going to wear it?
Right.
I've knit things where I thought, ooh, I love that, but then knit it, it's like, well, that's not really what I wear.
Right.
Do you want to go get a sweater?
No, I forgot to talk about my Hamilton. Don't let me
Okay.
forget.
I got this sweater from Target years ago. It's Ava and Viv. For me, this is my perfect amount of ease, the perfect length of sleeve, the perfect collar. So when Tracie says, pick something in your wardrobe, measure your bust on this, measure the width, measure the length, measure your sleeves, measure the depth of your or this isn't raglan, but yes it is. Measure the depth of your raglan here. That's what we're talking about when we're saying,
and then write it down.
Knit to what you like to wear.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to modify things. Just because it's written in the pattern, doesn't mean that that's the only way to do it. Like, I never would have modified that shawl collar if I was too afraid. Like, and it really turned out to be one of my favorite things about that sweater. So you're completely right. Every time you would wear this, I say to Jodi, oh, you need a knitted one of those.
You are the boss of your knits. And of course that comes with experience.
Yes.
But we want you to tackle sweaters if that's what you want to tackle. Now, having said that, the sweater...
You have the skills. You've got it. Totally. You can do it.
The sweater I wore last week was a modification of the sweater you're just going to pick up. It's like we planned this. All I did was throw sweaters in a bag.
I didn't even look in my closet till this morning. What are we going to talk about?
So, Anne from down east, 3 a.m. knitter, took on the challenge of mimicking kind of this sweater based on a pattern I sent her. What was the pattern?
She used the pattern. It's called the Classic.
Yeah.
Shout out to Espace Tricot and all their free patterns. It is another free pattern that Melissa designed for Espace Tricot.
So I said, I kind of like this. I like this on the sleeve, which I think I might block a little more. So
this is actually, so this comes from the Paloma, which is another free pattern by Espace Tricot. So she followed the classic is what it's called. And the little bit that the Paloma tells you to do for your twisted rib, use that. So you can get both of those free patterns and put that together yourself.
Because the top of this sleeve has some detail that was similar. So Anne took measurements, she swatched, and knit the perfect sweater.
It is so perfect on you.
Yeah.
You're 1,000% thrilled.
You guys, I'm going to put it on again because it's that good.
It is so good.
It's Sonder yarn. Their Muse held with.
People were like, it's your color.
Alpaca. Right? This time it was Surrey alpaca with their linen blend, which this is so
It's
soft.
just a fingering weight yarn. Like, honestly, you can put if you're going to hold a mohair or a Surrey with it, it doesn't even matter. Like, is it sock yarn? Is it wool? Is it whatever? Like, you're never going to know.
So I have the perfect oversized. I wanted extra length in the sleeves. Like, that's just, it feels cozy. It feels comfortable. It's relaxed.
It's phenomenal.
With a little bit of detail in the ribbing down the sleeve and casting on and binding off
just
with the
tiny little modifications.
Finest blue color to go with this color.
So I knit the Paloma years ago. It's another free pattern. It's also, so it's fingering weight in mohair. It's got the twisted rib detail that, is so pretty.
Can I just show this? But look at this twisted rib that melts into your twisted rib.
So it literally
ribbing.
starts up here at the collar, and you've got
look how that is.
You've got 2 little stitch markers, and you do that rib right until you bind off, from the cast on to the bind off.
It couldn't be an easier detail.
Super simple.
Add it to anything.
Right. And this is knit with Retrosaria Mondim sock yarn and mohair. And I chose this kind of light camel tan color. And at the time I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? This is so boring. You guys, this is in my thing today because I think it's my most worn sweater.
It's amazing.
Number 1, because I've had it for so many years. The neckline is a little bit weird. It kind of is poochy. I don't know. That's the only thing that I would say is different than I expected, but I don't even dislike it.
Yeah.
It's just different.
It just lays a little different.
But it was a really affordable. Like, you don't need to spend a lot of money on these things. You can get
this feels like wool.
like right. It is wool.
It's not scratchy, but it feels like wool.
Once you put mohair with it, they all feel the same.
Yeah.
Right? So you can use super affordable.
So good.
And it really is. I barely have to ever glean it. And by glean, did you use my gleaner still here?
This is essential.
We can't have a sweater talk without talking about the gleaner, because it is you need it. If you're going to knit sweaters, as far as maintaining your knits, it's like a sweater shaver or whatever you want to call it.
I just got to make a note while you're talking to myself.
But show people how you make notes.
Maddie just texted my math unit test on Tuesday, 89.1.
Oh my God. That's
Math,
amazing.
yeah.
But normally when Jodi makes notes, it's like this. She does the dictation.
I couldn't be more proud.
Remember?
I love you so much. And your auntie's a fucking bitch. Send.
Old news. Anyway, so I love this. So yes, I love bright colors, and yes, I like stripes and flashy things, but I love that my wardrobe is a mix of those things. Like, these two are ones I wear these every week, every single week,
And
I love them equally.
they stand up.
Yeah. So I feel like things like, they fit into my wardrobe and I can wear it a million places.
Yeah.
When I do things like add black or just this kind of like my kind of bougie hairdresser or whatever, they thought I bought this somewhere fancy, right? But I said, oh no. And it was super affordable, right? People are amazed when they know that you can knit sweaters.
So when someone says, I love your sweater, do you say, I knit it?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And I mean, my wonderful, awesome, fabulous, I don't mean bougie. I mean, she's beautiful dresser. Like, she's very tailored, and always looks so beautiful. And so when she compliments my sweaters, I think, oh, well, she must really like this look, right? And she imagines it costs a lot of money. And knitting your own sweater does not have to cost a lot of money. You can go to Knit Picks, you can go to Michael's, you can do all of those things you can buy things on cones that are really woolly and scratchy, and then maybe you just spend a little bit of money on a soft yarn to hold with it, right? Also available places like Knit Picks or sales or whatever. So you can totally budget bust, right? You don't need to be, you're going to go look at La Bien-Aimée and think I'm crazy. And I'll be honest, that yarn was a gift because we were doing a knit along, but I'm fully aware of the price point of that and that it's, it's up there, especially for larger sizes.
I think Jordan's talking shit.
Is she?
Yeah.
What's wrong with your kids?
She's fired.
All of our kids are fired. Yeah, totally.
Also, something to think about when you're thinking about yarn, is this going to be a sweater you wear indoors? Is this going to be like a jacket type style? Is this going to, how are you, it's, as I've knit and my sweater journey, I've realized there's more things than I don't want to make it complicated, but there are things that you want to think about.
Yeah.
Like when and where you're going to wear it.
Yeah.
What color do you love in your life? And are you going to go way outside your box and think, I'm going to knit a purple sweater?
And I mean, maybe you love this wild limoncello color that Jodi's wearing. And who doesn't, honestly? But you know what? A little tiny bit of it on the cuff or something.
Yeah.
Just that as a pop.
Maybe this would be more comfortable if it was opposite.
Maybe
like
you
a
would,
really light neutral.
Maybe you would love this caramely neutral with a tiny smidgen of that. So
yeah, you would.
Even though, things are trendy, things are popular, you need to be honest with yourself. Is that really something I'm going to wear? I've recently just fallen into that trap, you guys.
Ask yourself that.
Be honest with yourself and just knit the things that make you happy. You don't have to copy the designer. You don't have to copy your best friend. And I love my sweater made out of humble, affordable sock yarn as much as my beautiful hand-dyed yarn from Paris. So we can save up for things. I love all of it.
Yeah.
And it's just... there's no limit. So, I mean, you just keep your eye out and decide what you love. Don't let me forget to talk about my Hamilton.
Okay. We know that there's a budget for everybody. and what works for you. Our message has been and always will be, we just want you to knit.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you knit with.
Right.
We just want you to knit, and that's it.
Right. For the joy of it, for the community of it, for the mental health of it, like for the pride of making things for yourself or your family or your friends or whatever it is. So there is, I mean, you could do a whole show on what knitting means to people and what we get from it. Let me just quickly, Star says all yarn is good yarn. 100%. 100%. This sweater I'm wearing right now is the Hamilton, and it is an all over textured.
I haven't seen this forever.
Me either.
You forgot you had
It's been in my laundry. But honestly, so this is superwash worsted weight wool by Sweet Fiber. And like I said, the texture is all over. It's just a diagonal pearl bump. And this is just regular ribbing.
Look what a pearl bump can do.
Listen, humble little pearl bumps and a little bit of ribbing. It is by Jose Paquin, who's another amazing designer. I love this neckline. Just the straight, like
this is what we would call a boat neck.
I think so.
Yeah. How there's just, it's kind of like, they've just cut us, it's kind of like mimics a slit cut in the top of your sweater.
But it's also, I think it's kind of flattering. I quite like it.
Yeah.
This was knit with hand-dyed yarn from Sweet Fiber in her rose gold color. And those skeins varied. Let me tell you, some were darker than others. And that is just the beauty of hand-dyed yarn. So one of the challenges for this, for me, was to learn to do helical knitting, which is, again, so easy. Sounds really scary and hard.
If I was organized, I would have brought something to
Not
sample.
at all. And so that was the biggest challenge with this. And I do remember in the pattern, the little charts were kind of here and here and here and here in the pattern. I photocopied it twice and cut them up and taped them like I was knitting. So I was going to have so much of this, and then I was going to have so much of this other chart, and then that just made my brain work. So
that's a really good tip.
Yeah.
Cut a pattern, color a chart.
I didn't want to flip back and forth.
Yes.
Right? So like if I was going to be doing this ribbing, and you can see that it goes down into a V. So at some point I'm adding the pearl bumps and ribbing. So those charts were kind of all next to each other. They were small, simple charts. For sure you can do it. But that's just what made my brain do it. I would knit this again tomorrow for sure. So it's a worsted weight pattern. I would knit it even in just a beautiful woolly wool.
Yes.
Like where it's not hand dyed. You can just, go for it with
Love
a
it.
commercial.
Love it.
Commercial wool.
Another thing that we could touch on, we said, add stripes if you wanted just to customize, but little garter bump rows or, one little pearl every 5 or 10 stitches can give you an all over really fun way to texturize a sweater.
I totally agree.
Without complicating.
And it doesn't have to be fancy. Like if you were someone that, maybe the trend is all these fancy sweaters, but you would just rather poke your eye out than have to deal with something, so complicated. If your jam is stockinette sweaters over and over and over again, that is what you should do.
I agree.
That's what brings you joy.
Yeah.
And if that's what you're going to wear, that's what you should do.
Let's talk about this tool because like we said, we don't think you can be a sweater knitter unless you have a tool like this or something similar.
It just makes maintaining your knits beyond easy. Like growing up, I remember mom and dad had that lint brush thing, and they also had that little half moon sweater shaver thing. If you think those work,
she's shit talking me on the podcast.
Great.
Yeah.
This is like the next level where they've taken that little half moon sweater shaver and then given you 3 different grades of fine, medium, and kind of a chunky weight as far as the blade is. And it's so...
you have to be on a hard surface, so it's not getting the full effect. But it doesn't ruin the sweaters. It just takes the little bit of fuzz and
Yeah.
the little balls off your garment.
And then you get those on your sweater, and then you've got this nice little lint brush on the bottom, and these just pop off
2 different ones.
and pop on, and you get 3 of them, and it comes in a little travel bag. And if you were someone that travels, there's actually the travel size gleaner. It's a little oval, and it's a little case that opens up. You get all the same things. I have
this is a delinter.
I have one in my suitcase every time I travel. So it's one of those, I don't even keep it out. It's just always in my suitcase. So the gleaner is something that it's not expensive, but to me, it's the only tool for the job. It just does the best job, which is why we carry it in our shop.
Exactly. I'm just going to put more.
Shameless shop plug.
I just ordered a few more from Amanda because we were talking about it. And
Shameless shop plug, you guys. It's a great product, but I mean, we loved it for years. That's why we decided to carry it. If you don't have a sweater thing to care for your sweaters, highly recommend. I did see it at Target in the States. Like, you can get them all over. So it's not just local yarn shops, but
I'm adding. Okay, so speaking of gleaner,
I just want to say hi to Teresa, who finally made it, and we've been waiting for her. Right?
we
should start over. We should start over.
If you're
she's in Brooklyn.
I was going to say if you're local, there's a maybe something coming up you want to. But
Yeah,
we'll
there
post
is.
about it.
There is. Next week we'll have more fun things. We're gonna have what we've been knitting. Right?
Next week is this was a bonus episode.
This was pattern specific, this is a sweater journey episode, and maybe we'll do another one sometime. If you guys have ideas, put them in the comments below.
Yeah.
But we really wanted to share this because we just feel like you've learned so much as we go along. And I think sometimes we don't in detail discuss certain things of what we do for sweaters because now we just do them as a habit, right? So I would love for people that have pondered about knitting a sweater to maybe think, okay, I can totally do it. And I don't need to spend $1 million. And we shared a whole bunch of free patterns and patterns that are paid for that were worth every penny and that we had a great experience with. Your first colorwork sweater, we sort of gave you tips for that. I just think if you love to wear sweaters and you haven't attempted to knit one for whatever reason,
we want you to.
We think you can. We know you can do it. And don't listen to your knitting friend that says you don't need to swatch, because you do. And then you're on the road to a sweater that's going to fit you.
Yeah.
And
we love it.
We'd love to see it. We should put a thread in Ravelry too. My first sweater.
Oh,
I would love to see it.
A couple of things. It is Small Business Saturday.
It is.
So
it's kind of the start of people's holiday shopping this weekend, typically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we wanted to include Grocery Girls Knits.
Yes.
So our sale starts tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow morning.
Oops. Wow.
And it is site-wide except for the jewelry.
Yes.
We don't want to do the jewelry. And our winter kit. But our winter kit will be slightly discounted.
Yeah.
But those 2 items are not included in the sale.
The kit is discounted. So if you've been thinking,
there's not many kits left.
I know there aren't. So if you've been waiting, I hate to be that person that says you're better, but if you're looking for it starting Friday, you are going to be able to get a discount on those kits. The rest of the shop is even more deeply discounted, but if you sign up for our emails, you will know everything. It's going to go out today.
Tons of books. Also,
starts tomorrow.
I want to say, we wanted to curate our pom-pom collection a little bit better. We have gotten, I think, too many, if that's possible.
A lot.
So we are blowing out about 18 varieties of pom-poms.
And I mean crazy blowout.
Blowing out, they're half price, and then you get our 20% off sale on top of that.
Yeah, that's going to be...
So there's pom-poms galore going to be blowing out.
Yeah, that's
so time
true.
to get them and stock up.
And we have beautiful bags. We still have some yarn from Rose Hill. Like, there's an amazing selection of things in the shop. So if you're looking for gifts for a crafty person, you may want to stop by. I know there's lots going on this weekend, but we appreciate, every single order really does mean a lot to a small business.
So yesterday, Jordan had put up all of the colors of Taylor Swift yarn,
Excuse me.
and also the bonus eras skein for pre-order. So it was the first time you could get all the skein.
Okay.
So we were dyeing that.
So
this
now?
week. It's available now. But I wanted to say we are also having a sale on all of our yarn. We did 23% off for 2023.
Wow.
And what we did this year, but we haven't done before, we've included our dyed to order. So every one of our skein of yarn is all 23% off.
Wow, that's amazing.
Kits that are already discounted, like Grocery Girls, are at so they're like 35 or 40% off because the kits are already discounted.
Oh my God, Jodi, that's huge.
So watch that. This is
And you know what? Maybe send these links to people that are thinking about something to get for you.
Yeah.
Or do what I do. And my husband is so happy when I just order something and give him the bag and say, this is, wrap it up later. And I'll be so surprised. But,
This is folklore. This was on our TikTok account. This is Jordan dyeing folklore.
Oh, that's so fun. Aren't you lucky you have a social media person?
That's folklore. It's so pretty.
That's gorgeous.
And that's the album cover.
Okay, I would say Cozy Classic Raglan. Get
Yeah.
yourself some mohair or
Yeah.
suri, and that would be so beautiful.
It's also a thank you for supporting us.
Yeah.
We get to do this because you guys keep coming
100%.
back.
I can't believe we are lucky enough, to when they say go to work, that it's knitting related and yarn related,
Yeah.
and we're beyond fortunate, and we're just so grateful
And
to
this
all of you.
retreat that we're hosting, like, we want you
Yeah.
to come and spend a weekend with us.
You guys, there were so many people on the wait list when we announced our cruise for next spring, and I specifically requested, please do something in the mountains. So I can't believe that it's up already and that it's happening.
Yeah.
So we hope that works for a bunch of you, and we can't wait to see you.
Let me tell you, this came together quick.
It did.
Like, we didn't think this was going to
We
happen.
just thought, let's see if the hotel has availability, and then they did. And
when
were
we
like,
got together, we thought it was going to be fall.
Yeah.
Like, when we started talking, within like 10 days, you guys, this has come together.
Well, it's awesome. I mean, it's been honestly in the back of our minds for much longer than that, but you're right as far as like, here it is.
Like, it's going to happen.
Yeah. So, well, that was it for me. I think we should hit the road. I've got more work today, and I'm sure you do.
Let me check my notes. Oh, just a minute.
And we'll be back next week, you guys, with what we've been knitting, what we've been finishing. You're going to die with you're going to die with the bunny.
Really?
I did the bunny hoodie. I'm not even going to show you.
Is it
Jodi.
finished?
It's
You know what
very
we
close to
watched?
being finished.
Quiz Lady on Disney Plus with Aquafina and Sandra. Is it Yo?
Oh, yeah.
So cute.
Okay, I'll watch.
Yeah.
Or I'll have it going in the
Quiz
background.
Lady on
anyway.
Disney Plus.
Okay, good.
Adorable.
That's awesome. I love a good show.
I'm gonna go to that new
Star.
You're
Thank
not
you
late,
so
Star.
much.
I
You were
didn't
not
text
late.
you.
Everything's Jodi's fault. We all know that. Don't worry about it.
You know what I'm gonna go to tomorrow? The
No.
Hunger Games movie.
Really? I remember how much we loved those. Remember
This
we
is
were in a book club?
prequel. Yes, we were.
Okay, that's a great idea. I'm ready for a movie. Jeff said he wants to go see Napoleon. I know.
You go to the worst movies. No, I shouldn't say worst.
Actually, I don't think it's going to be worth.
You go to,
It's
like,
going to be like one of those
serious
epic
dramas.
Listen, there's not all that much out. I would go
Trolls.
to he would
The
go
new
to
Trolls.
He would go to Hunger Games.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, everybody. I hope you have the best week. We're going to be back to you right here,
set,
same time.
Set your timer for
next week.
7 days.
That's right.
We're doing it.
All right. Have an
Okay.
awesome week and a great weekend.